will pick up the AWP. Will find Vexite, but knows Ins. Is unsure of the location of Alistair. Picks up the bomb, 40 seconds, smoked off. Has to push through. Has to make noise if he wants to drop the weapon as well. So instead he'll just sit and reside, and immediately, look at this. Ins is repositioning, wanting to group. Create a long distance crossfire potentially with Alistair.
It is giving Mini an opportunity. Would have liked the AK, but the AWP, if you can get the bomb down, actually becomes fairly strong. Anyone, anywhere, but they're long gone. Sentry as well. Should be hearing this play towards Dark, so he's ready for this first fight. They can't afford the 1v1s. Alistair comes to group up so they can swing together. In should be there to trade. In fact, Alistair upgrades to the M4, the 2 rifles, but he's given an opportunity to find a second shot, but Alistair plays around the pillar and clutches it out for Greyhound.
Yeah, there was an opportunity there for Mini. There really was a chance, and full credit to him because it was a really nice attempt. Just waits, understands that potentially Greyhound could have gone, has to take the gamble of where these players are going to be. But they group up and play together, and ultimately, that's the price Mini has to pay. A great trade from Alistair. He grabs the AWP, and he puts Greyhound in the lead.
But considering it wasn't AWP and pistols, that was a very expensive round that GG Hao brought forward.
Absolutely.
Doing a lot of work, and Greyhound's mid-round was fantastic, the space taking they did in towards canals, but got a little out of hand. Now we've got double AWP. Dexter wielding the secondary AWP. Llewellyn. It's a whiff of Ins.
No dice. No one's blinking first. Yet again, it's a stalemate. Right up until Greyhound swing the corner, but it's Elian and Davkos to provide answers and short-term solutions. With man advantages, sometimes GG Hao always struggle to convert these rounds. And Ins is still looking to get a little bit active in middle. That smoke fades. He's right in the line of sight with the bomb. This is a massive fight, and it's one that Ins will only take one to the grave with.
And now you've got 2 AWPs in a 2v4. Dexter gets information. If they go into A, that's perfect for Greyhound. If they go through Temple, then it becomes incredibly difficult.
They're walking through the smoke.
That's going to give Alistair a chance. Gets 1, and a second, and he's staying alive, looking for more, and eventually dealt with. Dexter's flank on the AWP, scopes on in, and he's given himself a chance. A 2 versus 4 with the AWPs, and well, Dexter leads, steps up, and clutches again. A round that they had no right winning.
It's the one play in which GG Hao are going to trip over their own shoelaces. They even smoke camera off. They even have the idea there could be an AWP on the angle. They try and jump, completely send Alistair's crosshair the wrong way, but instead it's locked on to the target. And from there, Elian is not ready, not only for a second AWP, but for someone to be so close in proximity to A main. This second shot is disgusting. And it just means that Dexter can clutch up and have a chance. Mini wants to swing onto Alistair, but it's Vital that gets punished in the end by Dexter. Great clutch with the AWPs. Greyhound keep on firing.
They've even brought out a second one, so they want to keep the second AWP in play. Why not? Dexter's certainly proving his worth. Not a stranger to using the AWP occasionally. Definitely has whipped it out even at the tier 1 level multiple occasions when he's in a clutch, picked it up off the ground.
I don't mind it as well, just stylistically, the way GG Hao are playing, it's very passive, they're waiting, and so you can get your AWPers posted on long-range angles, of which there are many on this map, and it frees up your rifles to be a little bit more flexible. You can cheat rotates over, such as in this one. Ins is supporting Alistair. He can drop his utility. Alistair's still got a smoke available. And peeking, but not securing or finding anything.
Well, if he sticks around, he might be rewarded. The bomb comes through rugs. Dexter comes to lock off mid. Alistair forced back. Another well-timed piece of utility. GG How, they have to leave it to the last second continuously. They can blow the smoke though. Dexter misses his shot, but are you going to be expecting the position of Alistair now? And that leg is perfect. The HE follow-up. Dexter is done enough to deal with the lurk, but Inns is blown out. And again, it's these double orbs. They're going to have to defend. They did it once in the clutch, and now as they come into the site, it's a killer piece.
Yeah, and also look at the flank immediately. A double up in towards A main, instantly traded out. Elian
No time.
splits the angles, and you're right, there's no time to plant whatsoever. Liaz just waits and is patient. GG How victims again to the clock.
They're getting their money's worth out of their time here at the RMR, that's for sure.
That's so unfortunate. It's just the speed of the rotations yet again from Greyhound. It's the fact that they've doubled up on this flank. Normally it's just one player, but because they've got the double AWPs over, just trying to lock down this site. They send a second. Mini even cleared it through the nade on the fountain with the incendiary. It's just not enough. Greyhound now double the score line and they double up in A main. They're looking to get aggressive yet again. Just changing the timings of when they're pushing, it is really punishing GG How.
It really feels like that match earlier against Twisted Minds. It took so long for GG How to find the answer when their defaults weren't working, but, well, a little peek in from Elian onto the jiggling Dexter. It's a start. But they have to convert these opening picks.
Good smoke, it just buys time, and it also just means Liaz can focus back on one angle. Can't get splits upon from Mini. That's the same play. And Alistair, it's the same result. Vital's gone.
No trade.
And audio. Mini's been clipped by the incendiary.
You can see Ian starts to back up. Although there has been this gap in mid, and I think it's causing some questions for them. Vexite can't come over to support.
It's going big. They don't believe it. They don't think it's going to be this commitment. They've only seen one piece of utility. Second flash comes in for Davkost. Oh, but it's Inns. He lines them up anyway. He doesn't need any support. But now will be the time for Greyhound to rotate in. A 3-on-2, a nade over the top. It does a little bit of chip damage, but the headshot's good. And Davkost can't clutch. There's too many angles to clear. It's Greyhound with 7.
Yeah, it's reminding me a lot of their opening game. So many retakes that were successful on, so even when teams are able to breach the site, doesn't matter. Greyhound have the numbers and the confidence to pull off these retakes. Make it look easy.
I think it just blends into their communication just being incredibly simple. Like, Greyhound aren't doing anything too complex here.
No.
They're taking the fights more often than not, but they're doing it with multiple different players. They're ensuring that their trade spacing is just instantaneous.
Well, that's the thing, right, with the way that GG How are playing this. They got the opening pick there, and then there's just no response.
Yeah.
There's like 30 seconds of then repositioning, getting ready to go for a hit, and in that time, yeah, I mean, Greyhound are going to take the initiative and find a fight somewhere else.
And they're more than happy to do it as well. I mean, again, you take a look at the kind of the history of these two teams. We spoke about 9 major appearances for GG How, countless for Greyhound and these players, but it was also just the case of you come into this RMR with a 17-match winning streak. Like, you're going to be filled with confidence, and sure, you might lose a best of 1, but your expectations...
Yeah, technically the Mongols ruined that streak.
Yeah,
technically,
but your expectations still, if you're Greyhound, is to make the major.
Yeah, and that was, they mentioned it as kind of a wake-up call, right? This is what GG How started to do earlier against Twisted Minds, right? As soon as these defaults weren't working, they grouped up and just went for an execute. And that started to find them success. This time around, Dexter is going to get that timing shot onto Mini as he comes around. They can just fall back. It's a flash forward. There's the smoke. A bit late out the gate. HE forward, and oh, he's actually revealed himself. Backside is at least able to get that kill back, and Alistair almost finds one, but now he's noted, and Liaz can swing off the confusion. Another player as well. In fact, Elian got the team kill in the mix. They try and execute, and they're the ones that step up to the block. Heads rolling. Vital tries to get something done, but Alistair always there. And that's 8 for Greyhound.
I think Dexter wanted to throw the incendiary first and then the nade, but he kind of got it confused in his brain.
It happens.
Blowing the smoke. Absolutely, it does. Ultimately, it doesn't come back to cost Greyhound. Be push punished. Slow rounds. Not really finding the same success story as they did against Twisted Minds earlier today. And the T side, whilst it posted 5 in this morning's best of 3, maximum potential right now is just 4, and even that looks a little bit unlikely. Look at the utility on this T side, it is barren.
Oh, nice shot from Alistair early and flicked at the perfect time. Wide swung. Flick connects, and he's not done. That's Dexter's support, and yeah, they're just taking liberties at this point. That's confidence. And that's how they need to play. They know that they're the better team. Play with confidence. Play like you are the favorite. Don't give them the time of day. A 9-3 half on your opponent's map pick will feel very good. Vital scrambles just to make his way back to the bomb. Finds that first kill. T-spawn, no less.
Yeah, surely this is just improbable though. Like, you got to get past so many players. They're already just looking at you. They're waiting. Even throwing utility.
There are
Very
4
vocal.
players looking this direction.
Yeah, good luck. Running through the fire and the flames is just not possible. We'll try and react to a molly of his own, but it's all Alistair in the feed. 9 rounds for Greyhound after 3 in a row for GG How. They get the pistol, they get the conversions, but as you mentioned, just like earlier, as soon as the rifle rounds come out, it's Greyhound all the way.
Yeah. One-sided affair from Greyhound. Cool, calm, and collected as they found themselves in this lower bracket a little earlier than I think they hoped. Hoped to avoid it completely, obviously. It's always going to be scary when you looked at the draw for the bracket generally and seeing Mongols on the same side of your bracket and knowing what they've been doing lately on the international stage. This is Greyhound's, first international LAN with Dexter at the helm, back, bringing all that experience to the table.
Goes without saying, but GG How just needs to start off strong. Got dual Berettas. Smoke, flash, no kit. The dab cost. There's going to be an A assault. There will be players here, at the very least, trying to defend up close. Blocks, though, start to prevail. Izza needs a multi, trying to send heads rolling, but not quite happening. It's all Liaz.
Yes, ducking and weaving under the USPs. He's not done. Although he might be forced back in a moment. Oh, he's given a flashbang to extract himself. Dexter's running into B, and Mini is here. Beretta's in hand. And he's firing him off like a madman. Maybe this rotation back will come to cost them. Then they have to take this site. And all the support is here. Flashbang over the top. Mini is not going down without a fight, although he is slowly running out of bullets in the dual Berettas. Finds another, and yep, running back. They can beat them here, maybe.
Oh, this is smart. You're just waiting. You just want to fight them at the doors. For Liaz, low HP. Surely not nearly the ace for Liaz.
Yeah, that one's a little sad for Greyhound. You get 2 openings there. So you lose 1 in the process, but I feel like you could have just committed at that point.
You should have. You should have, absolutely. At the bare minimum, players are going to be rotating in from camera, but you've got the pace, you've got the jump on them because of the forward positions.
There's mutual as well. I think they had smoke and molly, so enough to isolate camera.
Even when Dexter falls here and you see a flash come over the top, you can easily retreat. There are multiple instances to get out, but it doesn't happen. So both pistols going in favor of GG How, and it looks like they want to take the conversion as well.
I love that Liaz has dropped an AK for Dexter. Yes, Dad.
I mean, it worked, at least for the first, and now they are hightailing it. The bomb's actually made it through. Dexter's trying to hold on. At least Elian will deny Alistair, but this should be a bomb plant, and this is money made.
Yeah, it's definitely made that cost of that AK worth it. Can they get any more kills? Potentially. Depends on what Leos can find. No, can't quite find. Staff cost. Retake will come through, but yeah, bomb plant, you take it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the thing is, you can't really judge these rounds from GG How until we see a full rifle between the two of them, because that's really been their downfall. And in terms of Greyhound, we haven't really seen anything too special out of these last couple of rounds. That just kind of run at GG How, trying to set themselves up. But this is where it gets slightly more interesting. Everyone can buy, everyone can invest. And Greyhound take 30 seconds to establish how they want to set themselves up in round 15.
Yeah, both pistols and full-up rounds going the way of GG How. The rifle rounds with Greyhound showing their dominance. Take a moment to let GG How stew in it. Alistair has got the AWP out. That is unarmored, but uncontested as well.
Just looking at his spawn as well, hasn't really got anything to go for a fast play. Maybe he just takes a look in towards dark, but would need to be careful because the nade is quite common for GG How to throw from A, and that will do a lot of damage if you're unarmored.
Yeah, maybe it'll get boosted up perhaps, or oh, he's gonna be heading over here. Yeah, he's holding for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, a molly that comes through. And you know what? They'd be so aware of this aggression out A main. Alistair immediately gets that opening with his AWP.
That's a lot of info. You've spotted one, potentially two in towards water. You know that a player was flashing from A. So now you've seen at least 3 players, and that's why they're taking liberties through the smoke. Dexter versus Izza, though, there's a slight gap, and Izza prevails.
Yeah, I saw Izza getting up to antics in smokes earlier, so he's fully aware of what Dexter's up to.
It's interesting because the flashes and the utility would signify an A play, but the bomb is deep outside B. Greyhound aren't committing to anything at the moment until they've got a clearer idea of what's going on.
GG How don't really have a clear idea either. They've split up their defense 2 apiece. B will be the destination. Backside crawls in towards dark. Smoke comes over the top. Isolate Elian. Molotov potentially go back, and Insta actually found this kill at A main. They don't have to commit here just yet. That Molotov actually a little bit off the mark, but the follow-up does land, and they found both kills. Easy enough.
That's nice separation, and it is just a case of Vexite walking out dark to, again, completely disrupt crosshairs. It also gives time for the molly to be dropped in towards Glyph. It means that Alice can get posted on the angle towards CT, and then the rifler can just deal with the player that's going to be caught in transition. Solid take of the B bomb site by Greyhound. Earning them double digits, earning them double the score of GG How, and for Izza, it's just about survival. It's just about trying to hold on to this A1S. Looks like he will get away with it. But if that's the only saving grace, that's the only positive you can take away from this round. If you're GG How, then there's trouble in times ahead. Remember, this is their map pick.
Double digits obtained. Yeah, Vertigo is a scary prospect for GG How. Haven't really seen too much from them on it. Played it a couple of times through the qualifiers. Lost one of them to Onyx Ravens. Definitely feels like a punish pick coming through from Greyhound.
Yeah, I mean, what, 4 or 5 of Greyhound's maps are just 100% win rate anyway, so they're gonna be feeling pretty chill with whatever they decide to go with, so definitely feeling happy. Alistair this time taking the aggression over towards A. Through the smoke he goes, doesn't see anything up close. So space gathered, it means that Inns can slip through with the rifle and get a little bit more proactive.
Yeah, how much do you trust this smoke if you're Vital? Probably not a lot. He's called over support.
Yeah, not once, but twice. Look at this. They're about to all reaggress together.
All gangs here. Vital take first contact, the flashbang being set up, and Alistair, he could definitely fall victim, but not expecting him to be that wide. Going before the utility. Most times go deep, but Inns is actually deeper. Nizza still able to swing and find him.
Good utility. But you have caused a gap. Dexter trying to exploit it, but it's Davkost. They will find the kill instead. Liaz is now caught between two different angles, and mid is completely retaken. GG Howard piecing this one together. It's a 4-on-2. And it's Alistair that is now not prevented by the utility. Is now taking liberties towards A, but up heaven lies a nasty surprise in Izza.
GG Howard playing these great passive angles. They know they have the full advantage here, even if the bomb goes down. Alistair's going to drop the smoke, and it's a good one for giving coverage, but Izza's going to sniff about and not see anything. I think the lack of follow-up off that smoke is definitely going to keep these players over at B. Bomb that should be allowed here. He's going to be able to cross over and play dark. There's a real chance this post plant can work.
It all depends on Vexite.
Oh,
He's pulled out the grenade. He's pulled out the smoke, but he does it just in time. And the bomb also comes down, so it's fine for now.
Now the smoke goes forward. Alistair finds the kill, finds the second onto Davkost. A 2 versus 4, and with that smoke only just landing, the clock ticked on down. Izza, he can't find a way in. A miracle round.
Yes. Absolutely, think about it, right?
Too much respect given.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, you're playing these passive lines. You've got a player in towards CT. You've got a player holding Temple. You think everything is covered, and it's not. The one gap. Vexite finds it, and with 20 seconds left, it's Alistair that drops the incendiary in towards middle, so they can't drop on from bridge, they can't flank. Vexite even caught with the smoke out, and yet it's still fine.
He got to clear that angle. Oh my god, that's insane. Alistair, I got to see a second kill. Ah, yeah, it's just before the smoke. That's so good. But not good for GG How. They will not be feeling happy about that one. 4 versus 2, they felt like that was their way back into this half.
That should never have been a Greyhound round.
That's just those individuals on show, right?
It's also so interesting just kind of, again, picking apart the polarizing styles between Alistair and Elian. You look at how dynamic Alistair was in that round. Sure, it's because his hand was kind of forced by the clock, but he's gone over towards A, he's taken the initiative, he's put Inns in a position where he can potentially get a second kill. It was really good utility to kind of flush both of them by Izza out of A main. But from there, it's just too static from GG How. They have no information.
Yeah, Alistair's kills, not only is at top of the table, but it feels like they're all incredibly impactful. I think on the CT side, the aggressive piece he was taking into Dark as well. That got them back into the advantage on these 2 rounds.
But here we go again. Look, it's fantastic that they are taking the space now, but it feels like it's come in like 3 rounds too late.
Greyhound no as well. Very loud about it.
It's really interesting as well that they just drop a singular smoke. Like, I know they don't have utility in this round, but if you compare, look, even the way Atox were taking B, it was so varied, it was so clever in the way they were completely limiting angles.
Interesting even that GG How went for the investment here, right? They don't want to play for OT. Flashbang is perfect though. For Vexite, even better. Mechanical finds 2. There's the 3rd player here, and Liaz just walks into B, strolls in, finds his kill.
This is simple. This is such a simple style to play. If you're Greyhound, like you're not doing anything special whatsoever. You've got the kills at A. You know they're going to rotate, so you can walk in, you catch the player that's completely caught off guard, stuck in 2 minds. Do I want to go back towards A? Do I want to just hold B from Temple? Which is completely bodied by Liaz. Now Vexite, I mean, sure, he gets blindsided, but he was here the whole time anyway, just holding for exits. That's an AK that can be scooped up, but you feel like Greyhound might still hunt for this. They know how important it would be to restrict the weaponry, especially because this was an investment round for GG How.
You say rifles is something you'd love a lot more. Liaz might even remove this one. Yep.
Damn.
Elian with a FAMAS. all that remains. He just wants to survive.
That hurts. And that's that opportunity cost. He's going to go down as well. Despite the money not being there for Greyhound, it is so much worse for this CT side. You saw it before we flashed up player cams, $2,000. That's the range. That's what they're working with. It has to be MP9s. It's got to be 5.7s. Another trade-off, a lack of utility potentially available. This is rough. And this looks over.
Yeah, I was hoping when we swapped to the CT side that we'd see that GG how we saw earlier versus Twisted Minds that actually looked incredibly solid, right? What, they get like 10 rounds in a row?
Yeah, felt like it.
It was an absolute steamroll once they got going.
It's a shame because it feels like they got scared into pushing aggressively because they tried it once. Inst even got a P90. That's how much confidence and, and disrespect, really, he's showing.
All right. With the excitement of the P90. Ah, no kill though. MP9 superior.
And Scout.
One planted though. 3v5. Weaponry favors Greyhound. The numbers for GG How. They look to fight to stay alive. On their map pick, Dexter just finds one spamming through the smoke. And Vexite's position is everything. Good for one. Liaz just playing around. Time an issue. Dexter in the open, just taking the fight. Gets the one. They know where Liaz is. And they actually managed to find him. Elian jumps on the bomb, and I think there's just enough time.
Yeah, that's a little bit wasteful there from Greyhound because they could have just completely snuffed out the danger. They could have just played a normal round and put it to bed. But look, they wanted to have some fun with it, which is fair enough. You can't blame them too much. But that gives GG How one round back. And sure, it's a long way back. There's still potential. Look at the buy of what it is now compared to what it was. You've got now an AWP on Elian rather than a Scout. Sure, there's a couple of MP9s, but now you've got AKs and M4s thrown in the mix with a lot of utility.
Deep smoke being thrown. I think they want to get aggressive again. Molotov as well. Flashbang on out, and it's not quite the flash they were looking for, but got the kill at Izza. Could be in for a while to hurt, or he could unravel Greyhound, but no. Stalemate in the smoke. Izza falls back, and Vexite's managed to sneak in. Getting spammed on down, he has to fall back.
Really good incendiary thrown in by Izza as soon as that one comes over the top for the doors. He counters, he prevents the progression. Now Vexite already been chipped from earlier encounters with Mini. Slight gap in this smoke, potentially. I mean, it's a squint at best. Not quite going to see anything. Time not yet a factor for Greyhound, but they're starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Alistair repositions, wants to take some fight into B main. Davkos like close to the flashbang. Securing that kill as well. At least there's a trade, but it's a 4-on-3 still.
Half a second earlier and Alistair gets that kill. The flash was perfectly timed. Completely blindsides him. Now it's Izza and Mini, the two rifle powerhouses of this squad, to lock down B. Molotov is good. Izza's gonna have to move forward, and he sprays from long range, almost two, and he's done enough. Mini gets the follow-up, and it's Inns, who had a fantastic showing on the opening day. Has to come in clutch. First kill is his. Taps the bomb, hoping for the swing, and they do give it to him. It's 2 targets too many.
Yeah, nicely done by Elian. Just small little micro, just jumping, completely taking the crosshair away. It just means the MP9 can guarantee the kill. You'd much rather have the fully automatic weapon being the focal point of attention rather than the AWP. Good flash plays from GG How. Just we're talking about how they feel a little bit scared to kind of make these plays because they've immediately been countered. They do go for it again. I think they're starting to realize that one mistake anyway and the round is done and the map is over. So you might as well just give it a little look in. Be free to take these risks. Just pistols now for Greyhound as well, remember.
They're forced to take a step back. Just gonna try and pop into B, but of course, with all the utility in the world, should be able to slow this down. Right around the corner, and he spots him out on the jump. Mini is pushed on down, getting overwhelmed, and then found Davkos. But Izza, he steps on through, comes out through middle. Spray is good. Is it enough? It's suddenly a 2-on-2. Okay, surely. Vex has been given this AK, and if this is the round they do it on, well, the smoke comes on forward. Vital swings through, and they know a player's there. He's brought down low. They've locked them out. That piece of utility, a one smoke.
Oh no.
And the HG almost takes down his teammate. Inns has found the first, and Alien can't get it done. It's against Glocks, but Greyhound take the first map.
I can't believe that whatsoever. It really felt like Greyhound, look, they tried to end the game a little bit prematurely and it didn't quite work out. Their economy's broken and they just completely lose to Glocks. GG how. I don't know how it falls apart. That one smoke, the fact that the nade doesn't break it completely, they have to run through it. They have to go straight into that bomb site. I'm speechless. That is not how I expected that map to end.
Yeah, when the P90 rush doesn't work, why don't you just try with blocks?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that passive setup, right? It felt like those two players inside need to get more done. There was utility there. They obviously had the superior weaponry, but Greyhound had the numbers and they just had great spacing the way that Liaz jumped into Dark, for instance. It was just really good stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm speechless. I wonder what the desk is feeling like.
Well, don't you worry, B-Dog and Lucy. I've got a few people here that might not necessarily be as speechless. Fantastic CT side showing there from Greyhound.
Yeah, but yes, I am a bit speechless with how he loses the Glocks there in the final round. Absolute pandemonium coming in from GG How. And listen, the scoreline doesn't quite... If you're just tuning in, you're looking at the scoreline, you're like, ah, they put up a bit of fight. Not really. Not really of a fight. They win both the pistols, they converted, and then in the end they lose to Glocks. This was Greyhound just running away with it and looking so comfortable.
Yeah, as soon as Greyhound got their economy sorted, they got those guns in hand, it was pretty A-okay. If you go back and watch any round, it just seems so methodical. Even if they were losing a lot of first picks, GG How, they just weren't able to convert. It was Greyhound managing to play well together. There were so many rounds where players in just like awkward positions. I'm thinking that round where Inns is stuck there behind the middle of sight on A, manages to somehow find the perfect lineup with a peak, and things just go from bad to worse for GG How in those moments. It's, yeah, hard to watch if you're a GG How fan, but for all the Aussies that are up watching this one, I think it's like 8 PM at home, man, they'd be having a bloody cheer right now. But look, it's not all over. We still have at least one more map, if not two, and GG How, they were looking very defeated in the player count this whole game.
Yeah, you can see the frustration on their faces. The real question is, though, why was their T side so weak against Greyhound?
I feel there was, I feel in this particular instance, for the side of GG How, I would have maybe liked a few more faster plays. I feel like they just stuck to their default a little too much on the gun rounds. So what would happen is, firstly, we had Dexter with the double up setup, you know, alongside Ali as well. And what they were doing was just, it was kind of being telegraphed. They were trying to pressure, not really pressure, so to speak, and that allowed Greyhound to maintain a very healthy utility economy. They were able to hold on to utility for so very long.
Not only that, but we're talking kills and deaths. While that was on the screen, you could see there was a deviation of 3 kills between the bottom fragger and the top fragger, and I think it was like a 5 damage, 6 damage difference between the top and the bottom in terms of ADR as well. It was so close. Everyone on the Hound's doing everything.
Oh yeah, and absolutely. And even if you look at the round history as well, you can see 3 rounds where, you know, GG How just ran out of time to work with, right? And it's basically just coming down to the final few seconds and allowing Greyhound. Firstly, Greyhound did a great job just holding onto the util and just preventing them from really, you know, trying to execute anything, right? And then you have to give credit where it's due. I think Ali was spectacular with the AWP. We talk about how aggressive he can be, and sometimes it is a bit hit or miss. This time he was hitting almost everything.
It was very flashy to watch in a couple of those rounds. It was great, but the question is, can they do it again on Vertigo, right? Because Vertigo is a map where it feels like we haven't seen heaps from Greyhound in the last like month or so, and every time it does go there, I think it's against like some lesser tier teams for the most part, or
I mean, they have some Rooster.
Yeah, they got some Rooster and stuff, but it's clean. It's clean against Rooster, it's clean against BNK, and if you're keeping it clean against the other opposition in the region, I feel like you know, some of the teams that we just named as well might even be stronger teams than GG House.
And look, just looking at the map pick, like just to add on to what he said, you know, when it comes to Vertigo, they had some other avenues they could have gone with, right? They could have gone a few other maps where they have a pretty healthy win rate. But for GG House, we just see 2 maps played here for the mixed team, and it's you know, it's a loss to Onyx. So it feels like a bit of a. It feels like a bit of Mac, it's been a long day, man. But no, but it does feel like a bit of a punishment coming from Greyhound as well.
Yeah.
Now, Mac, I think you know the boys incredibly well, so I need you to tell me, are they the kind of team where, you know, the good vibes, the energy we've been seeing coming out from them throughout the previous map, is that going to be something that is carrying on over into Vertigo? Do you think that that very same energy, excitement, passion is really what's going to be carrying them through this?
I think so, because literally everyone on the team's playing well, and if they're all confident, that's when they are going to play their best game. I feel like, look, the likes of Vexite wasn't really having a great day at the office yesterday, but today you saw multiple moments where he played really well, was doubling down, was able to play aggressive, and then also maybe getting a bit lucky at times, you know, caught with smoke out in corner, but just not getting cleared. So, look, everything's coming up great.
And even the final few rounds, they're able to close out, you know, with the Glock round comes to mind, then we saw like multiple 2v4 conversions coming in as well.
Yeah.
They were just feeling super confident. And sure, they got to punish a couple of times. Dexter out in the open on the A-bomb side, losing one, I think the first rifle round there to GG. But overall, when you're feeling this confident and when you have everyone in, so you're looking at Dexter, you're looking at Vexite, looking at Alistair as well, everyone just looking so sharp. And that is not what we saw against Mongols yesterday. Yesterday they played scared, they were losing deals to everyone, every single one of Mongols members. This is a different Greyhound. This is a Greyhound who had a bit of a rude awakening, and they're just here to close this one out.
So for GG How, heading into the next map of Vertigo, what is their best case scenario, the best conditions for them to take away a win in this situation?
I don't know. I'll
He's
be
not
very
confident.
honest.
You'll
If you have an
definitely
answer, I don't think they're going to be able to do it here. They look very deflated, and I could feel the frustration seeping in the final.
Yeah.
That final round, you know, against the Glocks, that was just like them playing scared, and then in a 2v2, just nading themselves, looking so flustered. The cams, even the body language is looking very off. And now you're heading into enemy territory. I don't really fancy the chances.
Yeah, I think they mental boomed, and then also they haven't played any strong competition for a very long time on this map. So this will be their first time they've been tested on Vertigo, and I don't think it's going to go very well.
I feel like Mini has been consistently good even in the loss for them, but he needs a little bit more help. Issa kind of went, he kind of disappeared here on this map. So maybe if Alien and Issa, I'm not expecting too much from Dafkos and from Vital, but if the core trio are able to, or rather the other two are able to help him out a little bit, maybe there's a chance. Tiny.
Well, let's go ahead and find out whether or not the Aussie boys can make all the noise on our next map, and that is going to be Vertigo.
Level up your gaming space with metal posters from Displates. Hang your Displates in seconds. Swap them whenever you like. Get official art from your favorite games on a uniquely designed metal canvas and choose from thousands of posters. Join over 3 million collectors now. Your wall upgrade is here. Shop now at Displate.com.
Players are changing. Countries are changing. The game has changed.
Finds it to perfection and simple. It's Orloff who's got on top of the box. He's got 3 and he's looking for a 4. That is incredible. And Rain, he starts away.
The best tournament, the best bouquet. Odyssey.
My name's Alistair, and I'm the author for Greyhound. We play a very, I think, strong style of Counter-Strike. I think we're very adaptive, and especially with Dexter coming in now, I think we're very solid. We obviously have to win all the games ahead of us, but I think our confidence going into the RMR is at a very healthy stage right now. I think anyone can challenge anyone here. You can't count out any teams. I think the Mongols are probably one of the toughest opponents here at the event, so we definitely have to watch out for them. I think it's hard. We won the last RMR, so I don't know if people are going off that, or if since we've brought in Dexter, people are afraid of us in that regard. But I mean, I back us, and I do think that we are the strongest team here. Practice has been pretty rough right now in Australia. We've only been scrimming the top teams of Australia, and other than that, just trying to scrim Asian teams on Guam to get as much experience in game time. And I think with Dexter coming into the team, he's brought a wealth of knowledge, and the way he reads the game is at a Tier 1 level. So I think going into Tier 1 teams and Tier 1 events, I think we're just going to be more prepared and more confident against these teams. We've had a look at all the teams. We're not trying to overanalyze everything and worry about what they're doing as much as we're just worrying about ourselves, I suppose.
Before I thought I couldn't take anymore. Celebrate like you won the war. Guess you forgot what I'm fighting for. I'll come right back at ya. Better hope I don't catch ya, cause when I do I'm gon' smash ya. Now I'm out for blood. I'm rolling into the claw. I'm out for blood. I'm out for blood. You better
Well, a bounce back from the Hounds after a disappointing start on day one sent them into the lower bracket, Brandon, but now they go into their map pick, one map up in the series, feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for Gigi Hao, it is literally just about bouncing back, and it's about getting their riflers and their key pieces more involved. Look, I want to see Izza taking these fights, taking these swings. On the CT side, when he was doing it, it was working really well, and you just kind of need to have that space. You need to also have that confidence in yourself, just as a player, to really just kind of grab the game, because Greyhound aren't going to go lying down. They're going to be very aggressive. They're going to just try and have all the control. As highlighted by the desk, look, it's a 100% win rate on this map. They're going to be full of confidence. They've just taken down you quite convincingly on Anubis, looking to do the same here on Vertigo.
Yeah, I think the sort of playstyle we saw from them on Anubis is going to reflect continuing into this Vertigo map as, yeah, they play with some serious confidence. We saw the P90 come out at one point. There was a knife kill in the mix as well, so a lot of excitement, a lot of clutches coming through for Greyhound. Now we're going into Vertigo. It's a map that, as highlighted on the desk, Gigi Hao played a couple of times through the qualifiers, but with mixed success, including a loss to Onyx Ravens, which was the team that beat them in that qualifier. And yeah, that was a pretty rough loss as well. And now I don't want to say it, but I feel like Greyhound are probably a bit of a better tier of competition than Onyx Ravens. So feeling that going into this Vertigo, it's a massive punish.
I feel like, look, if you are Gigi Hao, what you have to do is make Greyhound kind of break out of this norm. You could see on Anubis they were playing very standard CS. It wasn't anything too intricate, and you have to make them work for it. At the end of the day, you're starting on the CT side. You feel like you can potentially set yourself up for success, and well, it's really got to begin now. No kit here on the CT side, but a trickle of utility. But compare that to Greyhounds, right? A number of smokes, a couple of flashbangs, and they are ready just to crawl up A.
Yeah, Deathcast started with the HE in his hand. He wanted to drop that on contact. Now he's going to get that contact he was looking for. He's going to be able to fall back off it. Now counter utility. Alistair with all of the execute bits and bobs. A flashbang forward for Alien. It's perfect. Sets him up for the kill. The dual Berettas in towards Gap. A potent combination. And he's making them work. They jump around though, and Liaz mid-air deletes him.
Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. Although a boost up for Gigi Hao as well. Davkos trying to look over. The boost has actually been dealt with immediately. At least that's the trade forward. It's a 3-on-3.
As you mentioned, no kit purchase now. Okay, oh my god, Davkos. That is unreasonable. Alistair has to clutch again. An unbelievable sequence of kills. But he's wasting time. They're not on that bomb just yet, and he's managed to get away. Defuse can come through. He has to disrupt it. Has to find this kill, and Mini over the top finishes the job that Davkos started.
3 out of 3 pistols now being collected by Gigi Hao, and that's all at the hands of Davkos. Not only with the kills, but also the utility. Sets Elian up on Gap to find that first one. Toss the grenade in as well. This is just gross from
This is
Liaz.
from Davkos' perspective when he gets his double. Unbelievable.
They just light
It's
up.
the last bullet onto Liaz. I think that's karmic retribution after Liaz jumped around the corner and took down Elian.
Yep, everything is balanced here in life and here on the server. At the moment, it feels like Death Taxes and Gigi Hao always claiming the pistols.
This time around, the bomb plant comes through though. So Greyhound have got a whole gaggle of Galils, but it does come at a detriment to the utility. No one even purchasing a Mac 10. Normally you get one Mac 10 through just so that you can have the full kit. But they're contact killers.
It's tough as well because even if you drop a smoke here from Vital, they're going to disrespect it. They're probably just going to run through. You see they're setting up the boost as well. Does this get spotted by the MP9 player? Yeah, well, if it didn't, you definitely heard it. And they're just going to run straight through.
Oh, flashbang is so good though. Alistair sets up Dexter, but Izza stepping on through, and the flank from Liaz is heard. Izza able to rotate around, find that kill. The backside getting on forward. Oh my god, backside. That transfer is brilliant with the Galil. And the force buy back through is devastating for Gigi Hao. Come back through the smoke. That's not going to tempt you for this retake, surely. Still sticking around just in case there's an overextension. There's no chance now.
There was a time in there where Alistair's transitioning back to the right-hand side. There was a moment in which Mini could have caught him. Isn't the case. He gets out alive. So the force buy going to be a success here for Greyhound.
That's better than winning the pistol.
However, it is expensive, like incredibly so. We get the one-on-one cameras, that just shows the extent of the damage. GG How going to be investing in, but there's way more opportunities to earn cash here for Greyhound. Bomb planted, bomb exploded, they're more than happy.
Yeah, it's not going to be too bad anyway. Ins can drop over a rifle, actually. A Mach 10 that comes through for Dexter. Which I think is fine. You know that for GG How, they're saved an M4, but around it is going to be heat shooters. Spud guns we used to have as kids. Shoot bits of potato. That cost. Having a peek through. Or down low, and Leah's on a very proactive lurk, has support, and this is what you highlighted earlier, Brandon, just this proclivity to double up when Greyhound goes searching. They've flanked all the way through. They're in the back lines. Elliot had no idea.
Yeah, this is a vulnerability that has now been exploited multiple rounds in a row, and it's very deliberate by Greyhounds that they've walked in.
Vital could be an issue.
It could be. He should be. And he is. That's the bomb dropped. Mid-space, it's all well and good. You can flank in towards elevator, but ultimately the package is dropped.
He has on a recovery mission. Smoke will allow it, and Inns has kept control. So if he can get the bomb out safely, damage as well, so Vital can't even really push behind. Managed to recover this, but Mini's M4 is still active.
Mini needs to be the playmaker.
Oh, there was maybe a small window there, but Inns gets around the corner.
They still need to cross back here.
Elias is going to come on over, and Mini can just walk around. The bomb will go down, but Elias is going to fall with it. So it's Inns, required to step up. That's a great kill. Oh, the Heat team might even do it. Oh, it doesn't matter. He was ready for it. Inns, cool, calm, collected, opens it up with the two-piece in towards middle and closes as well.
Yeah, well played from Inns. But again, that round gets a lot closer than it potentially should. There's gaps being left open. A really good reaction as well by GG How. Especially the fact that, look, you completely give a mid up, but here are the kills from Inns. Even losing Izza in the process, but the fact that you've got the double MP9 that just pushes down, it gets the 2 kills, drops the bomb. It starts to look complicated. Vital, he felt like he did enough.
And now that hard reset comes through. Dexter with the Mach 10. Just charging up over towards the ramp. Farming up some cash. Player has slipped in towards Gap. That shouldn't be an issue here. With all the kills you found. Okay, as it does find one. That was the bomb, but the 5-7 weren't getting anything further done. So one casualty, not too bad. Greyhound with a strong start on this T side.
Something to keep your eye out for is something that Mac highlighted on the desk, right? Just the fact that the kill density is so low. Like, everyone is performing for Greyhound. Only 4 rounds deep, of course, but if this is consistent, if they're able to just keep putting this routinely on the maps, I remember in the opening game against Atox, even though that was a blowout, everyone was thriving in the server. And if that is something that is going to be a continuous factor, that is a very scary prospect for a lot of the teams here. Obviously, Greyhound, a formidable name. But them firing on all cylinders is deadly. Vital, though, will continue to hold these B stairs. Combining with Izza, they get 2 openings.
A nice idea from Inns, but missed the timing. They had already walked out a little bit wide of that smoke. GG How taking some proactive measures on the push out. Find themselves 2 nice opening kills. Greyhound are going to reset over here. Smoke has just landed towards top stairs. That is actually going to give them some space to work with. GG How are very spread out currently, but they have the numbers to support this.
Could argue going for a boost on the right-hand side, and then you get Alistair just taking point on the stairs.
Plenty of mollies for quad.
Oh, flashbang play attempted, but Alistair punishes, and the molly, it isn't going in towards quad right until the last moment. Good counter flash, but it's Vexite with everything.
There's 3v5 suddenly in a 2-on-2. Bomb to be planted, a forward smoke as well, making it more difficult. Retake utility being thrown. Dapkos wants to get ahead. Oh, that spam is so good from Mini. It's unconfirmed, but it's a huge amount of damage. And Vexite, he finds that cross from Dapkos. He tries to jump over. Mini's HE, if it bounces right, could do damage. No. Goes around, and so does he. Definitely been heard. You can see the reposition from Vexite, and now he's being loud on the approach, and he's just dodging him around double. Liaz has not revealed himself at all. And Mini, he finds that first kill, but Vexite plays it to perfection.
That's really well handled there as well, just in that after plant, because you can tell that Vexite has communicated to Liaz, don't swing, because they don't know you're there. Even though you're low HP, just play your life. I will take the contact, and then you play off me. And where they're getting vocal, on the other side of things, he's just dancing around that double box. Insane round from Vexite. Like, he finds 4. Just completely carves open this B bomb site and then holds it. That was your buy.
That was your buy where you found the 2 opening picks.
A 3-on-5 completely turned on its head, and
Not the first time, right? It's like multiple times on Anubis, the 2v4s that Greyhound were able to pull off.
And what's your reward? If you're GG How, what's your saving grace? Absolutely nothing. Pistols, you're not even ready. Vexite's just walked up the site and he's brutalizing everyone alongside Liaz. It's complete annihilation right now for Greyhound.
Yes, so you get to see the AMAP skills of these young guys. Liaz and Vexite just tapping their way through. They're on a ballet stage. It's a beautiful dance.
That'll be good content.
Dancing players.
Just like the Greyhound players at like ballet.
Yeah, you know what? And Alistair could pull off a 2-2.
Look at this. I'm not even like trying to allow them to save pistols. They're just trying to contain them here, Greyhounds. They know what's up. They've got a very good read and they execute stuff to perfection. 30-second timeout for GG How. They don't want this game to escape from them. We did comment on the fact that in that Twisted Minds game, despite GG How winning 2-0, it took a long time for them to pause when things were going wrong. So they have learned that lesson at the very least. This is a good time to pull it out. You know that Elian's going to be on the AWP for the first time this game. Trying to set him up is imperative.
Yes, this could have been the story all day with Elian. I hope that we see him taking some more aggressive stances. I think that's really what's been lacking so far. Greyhound have been able to set the tempo consistently.
He is uncontested. There's no AWP on Alistair. It's just straight AKs. Rifle work about to be put on display here by Greyhound. Worried about the early pushes that GG How have shown. They're dropping the utility early.
Flashbang being set up for a ramp peak. This is a cool boost. Bit back from where you'd normally see someone boosted up, and it is gonna be tested. Izzy in mid though, if he falls, that boost gets unraveled because they can't stay confidently there. It's so important that Izzy either stays alive or finds the kills. The flashbang can't get ahead of it. And now these two B players are going to be feeling the pressure. The AWP sounded off. And they can pause because the presence is coming on through. And Vital slipped on through, not ready for that extra play here. 3 over on this side of the map, but it's a knife kill. Alistair swings on through, upgrades into that AWP. Elian doesn't even get a chance to fight.
That's dastardly. That was just through the smoke. They're so prioritized. We did with Dexter on Guardian that they're not ready. Elian gets completely knocked out of the round. Has to watch the rest of his team suffer. In this 3-on-3, bomb not yet planted, a tap, trying to draw in players closer. This time it will be the commitment. And it's ins with Bogdan's Law holding for Gens.
The open the post plant, especially with that smoke coming through. Right side Gens is going to make this so difficult on the fight through. And, well, Alistair, nice kill. traded on out. Lias tries to get more active. Still this AWP to contend with, and Ins hits that first shot and the second. Everyone can AWP on this squad.
Nice play as well. Like even the simplest things are just spamming that smoke there. Having these fights continuously, it does set up the AWP for success. It makes these players at GG How wide swing straight into the scope. And you felt like that B-hold was going to come into fruition. I feel like Izza got a little bit hard done by. The flash didn't look like it would ever upset him.
That looks so cool when you see it back from that angle. Shout out to the observers. Fantastic job of highlighting the cinematography of some of these plays.
Mental warfare definitely on the side of Greyhound, because that has to be so frustrating if you're Elliot.
Gets his AWP out, gets his kill, and he's in a pretty strong position to keep taking fights around White Box. Knife between the back. Greyhound have been punishing this B-bomb site. A has not been a focal point.
Don't need to rely on it. The takes of B have been so strong, and this is something that they do like to rely on a lot because of the pressure they can apply with Alistair peeking from the stairs. Look at this, the mid presence. Finally overwhelmed, at least is one apiece. Vexite opens up on A though, and we're talking about B. That's where they're applying pressure, and now rotations need to happen. GG How have got no information over here.
Yeah, it's just been presence sharing on both sides of the map, and you can see GG How just don't really know what's going on. Vital goes to find the information, dropping down, being held for. There's a trade though, so it's still a 2-on-3. Izza arrive in time to support Elian. Shieldie on forward, and good timing. Alistair jumping over towards default, gives up his life. And if Elian knew that Vexite was alone, he definitely would have swung up there.
4 bullets. We'll have to jam that new magazine back into the FAMAS. But that's given time for Vexite to relocate, except he's just hung around, playing so close to this smoke. He's got Dexter in support, and they move in tandem. And now suddenly it doesn't want anything to do with this. The money is just so limited for GG How. And he's got to back off. That's 7 for Greyhound.
At times I've seen people being killed while they're mid-jump in this series. Has been something else.
That's also 7 rounds in a row. They got money to burn, and Alistair's up to 5 figures. But Dexter still wields the orb, can drop it back over. GG How are potentially going out with a whimper here in this best of 3.
Vexite is really stepping up here in Vertigo. Player that takes a lot of the focal point for this team since his addition, which was quite a while ago now. Next big young talent to come through into the top Oceanic team.
There was so much conditioning on display in that round because you had Greyhound pressuring over towards the B stairs. Liaz has also shown his hand in towards mid on a number of occasions to the point where GG How know that they have to fight B, but they also have to account for middle. That's why they send 2 players over there to try and deal with it. And that creates such a big opportunity for Vexite to walk up in towards A. Kill the player that is solo holding, gets a lot of the space, and could just completely reset the round in Greyhound's favor. And in fact, that save gun is the only investment really into this for the CT squad. Mini's wielding the mag. But that feels a little bit desperate. At least it's in a decent spot up towards Gap. Might get the first contact with Vexite. But he's on the other side of the tarpaulin.
Being tempted by these shots. Alistair's hoping that someone will swing. It's gonna be happening.
They've got to know the buy's low here because there wasn't even a smoke for ramp booster.
Thanks. Ooh, he's looking for this timing, but he's not seeing anybody. It's all a ruse, and he's going to be able to work this out pretty quickly. But no one has started to move just yet. And the most important play, which is Izza, is still in this boost position.
Yeah, this is really good from Greyhound. They just understand the situation. They know that if they just put a sprinkling of utility on one bomb site, it more often than not, GG How are going to rotate over. It's too simple for Inns to get that entry. And from there, the bomb can safely cross. Elian tries his might. Desperate shots through the smoke. It's just not connecting. Nothing's going right now for this defense. Even Davkos gets mollied off. He's got to retreat. This is dominant. This is a very convincing round for Greyhound.
Even the Deagle headshot didn't take down Inns. It clips through the edge of the wall. Holding with a mag 7 for exits. You don't even want this gun into the next round.
No, please come and kill me at this point. Let me at least try and earn some money. It's not happening. Why on earth would they push through CT? They know they've got Spawn completely safe, completely locked off.
All the stuff from Greyhound. They avoid the boost that was in play. That stack over towards A. Only one kill needed to secure the round.
GG How, yet again, I mean, it's the same repeating problems, but when have we ever commented that they've been taking ramp? Where have they gone for like a gap flash, got Elian on the angle, sent the rifles quite close down, yellow wall? It's not happened. There's just so much space. There's so much respect being given to Greyhound.
I think it's also just a discomfort on this map, right? It's one that's not one they've played yet here on LAN, one that we don't have much official information on. And the Greyhounds certainly have put the numbers in. Like smoke forward, and this has given Elian something to work with. This is the opportunity on Devek's side, who gets flashed forward. Ducks indoors 51. He's going to back up, and I thought maybe Mini would stick around. They are just both going to bail. He has kept that mag 7, by the way. Could have opted for a rifle. Which you feel when you're this far down, you sort of just want to prioritize the weaponry.
So much utility just again being depleted. Over towards B. Nice shot from Vital. He's been very consistent over here in finding some of these opening kills. It's just the rest of the round that hasn't fallen into place for the CTs.
After all of that work they've done over towards B on all these rounds, they're going back towards A. And it's just Mini here. There's a player in towards Elevator. And that is Elian with the AWP, and he finds that kill on the Dexter. Falls on back, peeks on through, and Vexite is holding the angle. Rifle at the ready, and Elian doesn't even get a shot on the repeak. What can Mini do? Not enough. Betrayed by the mag 7. Davkos, it's his turn. This HE could do the job, and in fact it should if he throws it now. Backside. Oh, he just dodged it. Liaz cops a lot. They are wounded. This is the best retake position that GG How have been in.
Yeah, absolutely. They really need to give this one a go. So low, fighting forward is Vexite, but gets completely punished. The swing with the flash, it's all looking good. Inns will find one with the spam, but Vital's already sticking the bomb, already halfway defused. This run belongs to GG How.
Yeah, I think you thought the first tap would be a fake. Good effort, and well, you take those. Yeah, why not? Don't save anything. It's not going to be too bad. You can see Mini and Izza have a lot of cash, but Greyhound don't make any of these rounds easy.
It's got to be commented on as well. We talk about the consistency of Greyhound where it comes to everyone performing on the server, and the over-reliance that GG How had on both Izza and Mini against Twisted Minds. Right here and now, it feels a little bit similar. Davkos has had one kill this entire half since the pistol round.
Greyhound lose the round, immediate pause. And I think it is fairly important for Greyhound to, I don't want to get ahead of things, but they would love to just finish this one in an incredibly dominant fashion, right? Yeah. The confidence boost after getting dismantled by Mongols.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's also the case of they could have finished it in a more convincing fashion on Anubis as well, and you can tell that they're not messing about here. This feels like another day in the office, and for GG How, a current nightmare on the 51 floors. Vexite, again, aggressive. Look at all this utility. It's just completely missing him. He's taken a little bruise on the leg. That's about it.
Great space established, just charging on through. Oh,
Great
okay,
smack.
yeah, Mini. That's the lineup. Alistair just tucked in towards the sandbags, and he's caught out. Now Elian on the line, looking for Dexter. And good chance of finding him. Oh, no way, Elian. If he feels so hard done by. First it's Backside, deleting him on the re-peek, and then he gets the leg shot. And Dexter immediately with the follow-up, but Mini does step in, picks up the AWP. Elian might be feeling a little hard done by, but GG How have found themselves in a two-man advantage.
This is perfect. Double gap as well. They can keep re-aggressing, and this has been the nature of the entire round. Mini keeps on going, and even follows up for more. An ace in the round for Mini. He collects every single one of the Greyhound scalps.
Beautiful stuff, started with that wall bang. Then picks up the AWP and gets the job done.
And that's kind of, look, exactly what we needed to see out of GG How. Sure, it results in Mini getting all of these kills. However, take a look at all the moving pieces. They keep fighting. The double gap push wasn't inevitable. Elian repositioning, re-walking with this AWP, had the support of his friends. They were playing with confidence. They were playing like they wanted to take the game away from Greyhound for the first time in this entire series, it feels like.
They've gotten aggressive, but this is no. The Molotov comes on forward, but Izza. Oh, Izza, he'd slipped on through. Dexter was so wounded. And it really felt like Izza was good for the one there. But Elian, great shot on ends. And again, it's the player just jumping on over, but the flames are everywhere. It's a firebombing of the mid-site. And Mini, who did so much work in the round before, is left in a 1 versus 4 in this final round.
And you just really hoped that Mini's heroics would kind of be the catalyst to get GG How back in this game at the bare minimum, get them a 4th round, and it's going to have to come down to individual prowess yet again. Unnoticed, sneaking through spawn. However, it's already being watched, and it feels even more unlikely. And Ace was fantastic, but 4 kills in the clutch and time-pressured environment, it feels unachievable.
It is impossible. Taken down by the utility, which Greyhound had in spades. 9-3 at the half on their map pick. 4 away from eliminating GG How and continuing their lower bracket run.
That was so rough. That was like 2 mollies, 4 grenades, all just thrown in the matter of just 1 second. However, pistols have been, look, GG How's strength. A reminder, they've claimed every single one so far against Greyhound. Looking to do the same. However, they've not given themselves much to work with when it comes to the second half.
It's going to be quite the comeback. As mentioned, pistols have been their strong point. Of course, double flash, smoke. Berettas. And pinged. A nice little white border. Imagine they're going to go over to Gap, and we might see a similar setup to what GG How showed.
Let's see it. Again, utility on Davkos, just looking to support his players, looking to set them up for success. 4 players over at A. And the fast pacing with Mini up Gap.
Ooh.
And he decimates the dualies.
I think this is intending just to be a fake out, but Mini's found success, and it was indeed the fake out. He's still here, and he's going to be such a pain. Davkos getting Liaz as well. Eventually dealt with by Dexter, but they found their path in towards B. Bomb to be planted. Sentry collected, but it's going to come through a little bit too late. Pushes one back, and they're straight into his crosshair. Backside, for all the performance he's been putting on so far, we need to find 3 with the dualies. They're not giving him the opportunities he wants. Time ticking on down as well. Pro kit, they all just swing at once, so GG How go 4 for 4 on pistols.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're pretty good at them. I mean, Mini, again, at the center of all of it. Trying to drag GG How kicking and screaming towards closing the gap in the scoreline. Double kill, even swaps the dual Berettas and does so much work just to keep the attention all over at A. And from there, GG How just able to piece the round together.
Izza is so good with the Glock. Like, it's been a consistent thing over these last 2 days.
Just need to be good in the gun rounds as well.
Oh, running in mid. Liaz spotted on the cross. But he'll be a known element. This is already going down to do with it. Mini here too. So Liaz, I don't think you're going to get up to too much here. I don't know I'm here, guys. Oh, come. Okay.
They don't know I'm here, guys.
They...
Not again. It was Mini. It was the player that didn't clear Vexite as well on Anubis. One casualty, that's it. That's fine. All well and good. Normality restored temporarily for the T side.
Time for an extra couple $100 for Elliot. All right, getting respectable. 9-5, but here's the test again. It's the gun round.
No orbs, just pure rifles buy. Definitely better here for Greyhound. Obviously, GG Hao operating with more of a bonus buy. There are no SMGs, it's just Galils. An AK thrown in as well here and there. But they need to be flawless. They need to give themselves something to work with. Just a confidence booster here. Straight to A, applying pressure, drop in limited pieces of utility. And Vital was so good on the defense at B. He again might be that player to unlock things for GG Hao.
Greyhound aren't afraid to stick around top ramp despite that top sandbag smoke being deployed by the T's. They're confident just to reassert its control, and if they can just do that by facing it, they're happy because they do not have a lot of utility. GG Hao head over towards B. Liaz and Vexite are both here. Flashbang can be set up.
Are they going through this? Are they gonna flash play and just sprint straight through the smoke? It looks like it. They're committing in here.
Reinforcements have arrived. Davkos burns out to Liaz, who sprays him down on that cross. And a swing with the bomb. Vexite and Liaz blocking it down, just the two of them. Almost every kill. Mini and Izza still stay standing. But barely. Limping into this round, and Dexter swings on through. Mini with a quick headshot. It's going to be a difficult round for him. 9 HP as he makes his way back to A.
There is time for this.
He faked it, but I don't know if they heard it.
They wouldn't have. They're way too far away. However, it might still work regardless because...
Gonna have to run though.
15 seconds.
Yeah, Alistair is gonna be ready. He has to run in like the next 2 seconds.
He's got to go.
He's got to go. He can't make it now.
There's no time. Inns didn't even need to swing, but he still confirms it with the kill. Interesting round. As it comes to the tail end, Mini just trying to play mind games, but ultimately...
Clock continues to be an issue for GG Hao.
There's Greyhound who continue to have the last laugh. I mean, this one feels a little bit desperate because you are forcing the fight through the smoke. You've got counter utility out of Greyhound already. You can see that they're deploying flashbangs. If you wait, which has been almost a feature piece of a lot of these GG Hao rifle rounds, you could have re-exec'd there. There was enough utility to just throw flashbangs over. You wouldn't have to deal with incendios, you wouldn't have to deal with flashbangs, and that execute would look a little bit stronger.
Another pulse comes through. Greyhound taking this very seriously. If they do drop around here, they will be reset pretty quickly. There is a pathway for GG Hao back in. A long one. That course with just the deagle. He gives up a rifle to his teammate.
I'd like to see this A control a little bit earlier here for GG Hao because they were definitely keeping players here. They weren't really exchanging much damage initially. Just the sheer presence alone is still going to deplete resources out of Greyhound. They open the smoke, they use a flashbang. It's just a nade in return, and it's a chunky one.
Love that deep CT smoke they're throwing down to the bottom scaffold. It's faded now, but kind of completely negates the sandbags one that's thrown by the T side.
Yeah, it's nice scaling as well because now you can drop this one from ins. You can also throw flashbangs from sight. However, it's Davkos and Mini that get the kills. Dexter's still hanging around, and that's to his detriment. That's 3 kills for literally nothing.
And that's some of that overconfidence, right? Just feeling like you can take the fight to them. Just swinging dry down ramp, but there's 4 bodies on the other side looking right back up here. Backside has arrived. It's spotted, and we have the money as it is. Gonna have to hold on to this.
Yeah, we spoke about the reset potential, right? The fact that this round was so important and Greyhound just wanted to stand their ground. It felt like they were so confident they were at least going to get these trades. And Davkos just starts the pain. And from there, it's a team effort to get these kills over the line. Vital's so confident he's even going to go hunting now.
And these are the sort of rounds that are scary now and are going to be scary later down the line, right? You know, if they're going deeper here in the RMR, there's going to be some tough competition that will punish. I mean, one of Lin Vision and Mongols is going to be the end boss on this lower bracket run. I think either of those teams, they're not going to let you just dry peek into them like that. We saw what happened when Greyhound tried that against Mongols.
Yeah, it didn't result well. It resulted in the Mongols getting a number of advantages. And those were some clean shots as well. Loss bonus, very low. What's the decision here for Greyhound? Because even if you full save with these players, you're not going to be buying into the next round anyway. But if you do eco across the board, you are at the bare minimum keeping all of your economy equal.
Oh, nice flash. Oh, no, not a nice flash. The idea was nice.
Nice idea.
Yeah, we love a nice idea.
This is a good round out of GG How as well, because look, they understand that the rifles would have been saved, and now they can just use utility and go into a bomb site together. Liaz, unfortunate timing on the scroll jump.
Person went with the last two, full prey to that one, but at least it's not in an incredibly crucial round, although it was one of the save weapons. Davkos, this guy just gets kills through smokes. Knows exactly how to spam it out. And also, I don't know if you're going to be allowed to save this M4. I get a sinking feeling that GG How is going to be locking you in, running you down, and you can't find one. So GG How now within 3.
Yeah, now within 3, and also it's the battle for both of these teams to see who can catch up to their star player first. Will it be GG How getting kills to catch up to Mini, who's on 20, or will it be Greyhound looking to ascend to the same heights as Vexite? Everyone needed. We do manage to scrape a buy together regardless. You see that Inns has to drop down to that MP9 to afford the utility. There's still a competitive investment here for Greyhound despite it.
Inns is getting aggressive with the MP9, or he wanted to. The spam early has completely deterred him. They've been throwing a lot of HEs up towards Gap early. I think it's intending for that exact play.
It's also because of the smoke that they've been throwing, where it's been landing deep. They don't really have information, so they want to make sure that no one is going for these plays behind it. Reset from Inns, this time towards the top of Gap. And look, despite all of the fighting that has kind of happened early, we're now at the 1 minute mark, and the reality is GG How have no map control.
Now going to go back towards B. Liaz is alone with just his M4, no counter utility, deploys that smoke, and that's the end of it. Looks like it's not far away though, and he's got a flashbang to support. You can see Vexite ready with that one. The Liaz is forced off. Flash does come over, but the line wasn't there anymore. Side comes on forward. They want to fight ahead of this. 1 for 1, but Dexter also chiming in, and Vexite continuing his dominance on this side of the map. 3 for him, and he locks GG How out.
Yeah, very layered there for Greyhound. It's just Vexite waiting for the perfect moment to have a swing. Contact being taken not only from back generators, but also up high from the construction site. Vexite just waits. He knows he'll have that opportunity. Even throws a smoke just in front of him to funnel these players straight into his line of fire. A really important triple kill, and he's been solid all series long. He keeps delivering for Greyhound, forces the last breath of air for GG How as they take a breath, they take a pause, they figure out what they need to do.
That smoke was really cool, actually. denied Elian being able to trade him at all. You see Elian actually spotted him in that replay. That angle is really cool just to watch that play out from his perspective. Duels, check out Mini, 3-0.
I was keeping my eyes on the AWPers. Alistair's 0 for 2 in opening kills. Elian's 1 for 2. So these snipers, they've not really been impactful that early.
That does check out on Vertigo, right? Elian's going to bring us through this T side. Finding anything over towards ramp. They have taken a lot of control alongside Vexite, so they've established the stairs control. But Vital, if he goes down here, which he does, that's going to deny this avenue towards B. Unless they want to spend the time to retake it.
It's just going to accelerate the play up A because they're so worried about players flanking, which we saw all throughout Anubis. It was Greyhound with 2 players often in the back lines consistently flanking. Instead, they've gained all the intel, they're rotating, and they're reinforcing A.
GG have no choice. Slows them down momentarily. Still got enough for a decent execute though. Smoke splashes, HEs, everything they need. Elian peers on through, force off the angle. Inns is holding the denial utility as well. He's ready with that one. 30-second mark.
Wow, triple HE to headshot. No one home. Here comes the smokes. Here comes the incendiary and the nades. Time ticking. Davkos just runs through the molly.
He finds the gap. Runs on in and there's a small bit of space. But he's stuck behind the fire and the smoke. Dex has spammed out one through it. And Izza trying to get ahead of it. That flashbang is great, but it doesn't matter. He just holds down the left trigger. And it's Elian again, required to clutch. A 1 versus 3, gets that first. Bomb tapped and can't quite see it. Smoke has spread. And now they're hounding him through. Oh, we can't quite hit the flick. It's Vexite again. And it's Greyhound on series point.
Yeah, really well done. Great retake as well from Greyhound. It's just the fact that they're grouping and it's a 3-2-1. Everyone swings at the same time. You've got players from different elevations that are completely crunching onto the bomb site. And where you feel like GG How have got the space, they actually really don't. And the fact that Elian is just confined to the sandbags, as soon as he misses one shot, he's basically done for. This utility was supposed to be used for denial, was actually used for containment. Inns is able to get those 2 kills.
Yeah, great stuff from Inns. Despite Izza getting that double kill and feeling like it's going to slow down the retake substantially. At least the bomb plant gives GG House something to fight with, but it's Alistair finding the opening pick that's eluded him. Had the spawn to post up on B, gets his kill, and now he can remain mobile.
And that's his first round in a while with this AWP. And yet again, look at this, same outcome. You take the B stairs control, you force them into a different direction. This time, the answer, GG How believe it to be middle. They're going to have the boost, it's been spotted. Alistair notes it.
Can't quite find his mark though. At least that's information. 2 players, and Mini's holding for this position. A leg shot actually comes through, so very risky. Alistair gets away fairly unscathed. Mini again, popping some further damage. And A, the final destination. Could be that way. So many reasons.
Look at how much utility Greyhound has still got.
Backside's just piling up HEs. To juggle them forth. Dexter on the crane angle. Oh, that HE is perfect. Look at the damage Elian took. And he's removed. Dexter comes on through, finds the final kill, and leads Greyhound to victory.
Yeah, well played from Greyhound, honestly. It just felt like they were in complete control all series long. They let some rounds drop, but ultimately, they stay alive here in this lower bracket run. They set themselves up with a really good chance to qualify out the group.
Yeah, and a confident win as well from Greyhound. That's what they needed coming into this. They didn't expect to be down the lower bracket so early, but a good showing. Sadly, that does mean we do have to say goodbye to GG How, who honestly have played some very impressive Counter-Strike. We've mentioned the experience they brought to the table, Brandon. 9 major appearances across this squad. Unfortunately, not going to be another one today.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And it would have been a fantastic storyline, especially for the likes of Izza, for Elian, these guys who have kind of had a break. have really been benched from their organization and then come back into the fray. It looks like they're going to be achieving something, but unfortunately, the first CS2 major, it's a little bit too far out their reach.
I'll tell you what, it's definitely put Mini on my radar,
Yeah.
and I think Izzer is going to be in a lot of people's mouths now. That's two players that consistently across all the maps they played were fantastic. So a great showcase from them individually. Unfortunately, wasn't enough as a unit.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And it does mean that Greyhound do prevail, and we've got the desk to break that one all down.
Thank you very much for that, folks. Mac, mate, I'm going to come straight on over to you. How are you feeling?
Oh, I've definitely had Izzer in my mouth, but I'm excited to see the Hounds going through 2-0 and in pretty solid fashion as well. Damn, that was clean. Like, it got a little bit shaky in some rounds, but the amount of rounds where we saw the Hounds come back from like 2-man deficits, 1-man deficits, it was a little bit crazy.
It really did feel like they were in full control, right? And yeah, there were a couple of rounds where maybe it could have made it a little cleaner, maybe it could have gone the way of GG How, but I think it was a round where 3v4 or 3v3 with Ali just goes for this nice, perfect timing. Just goes in for the knife. And right there, I just knew this one's done. Like, they're feeling super confident in going for the style points as well. And for GG How, look, heading into Vertigo, I felt like getting the win on the first map was an absolute necessity for those to go to map number 3. That didn't happen, so quick and easy. But I do want to echo what Lucy mentioned there. I think Mini was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
He has been a player to watch for.
Well, for Greyhound winning 8 back-to-back rounds over on their T side, how on earth were they able to absolutely decimate and pick apart the side of GG How?
Well, it was because they lost the pistol, but they got the plant, right?
Yeah.
So they were able to come through with the Galils. Even though it wasn't a clean second round, that was when they started to, you know, pile up the money, make it extremely difficult for GG How to do too much on that CT side. And then even at the end, look at this. It was just a flash nade forward. Dexter going all in, full disruption, not allowing GG How to get that nade set out and just really throwing a whole bunch of everything at them, and GG How was not ready to catch it.
And I do really like, you know, the streak of 7-8 rounds you got right there. It wasn't just Greyhound running at them. I think they did a very good job just conditioning GG How CT side there. Like, lots of hits coming in towards B, and then once GG How finally get the buy-in, and they're all right, you know, it's going to be a bit of B aggression happening, which did happen. Then you have Vexa just running in by himself towards A and finding an empty bomb site. They were just, you know, pulling and pushing and pulling the rotations, just basically playing really good T side, and unfortunately GG How didn't have the right protocols there to answer back.
It was a bit different in one way where, of course, the wing play, not the wing players, sorry, the slight anchors didn't get anywhere near as much action as a couple of the other individuals, but you're looking at standout player Vexite, and he stand out for a reason. Was happy just to do a lot of little isolation plays, managed to find 1v1s with GG How, who were a little bit, you know, discoordinated at times, discombobulated even. They were just, you know, all on the CT side, sort of one would push and not really have any support from anywhere. Maybe a flash, but not in a tradable position. They die, then Vexite was able to just have that fight, that fight, that fight, and there was no real answer. The times when GG How did look good is when they decided to start fighting together, start moving as a unit, and we just didn't see enough of that on Vertigo.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to bring that soon enough to the table, but Greyhound moving on forwards in the CS2 RMRs. Let's go ahead and revisit the bracket, boys, and we can see how everything has been shaping up thus far. Obviously, for tomorrow's broadcast, we only have 3 best-of-3s and, of course, 2 spots remaining for the Copenhagen Major. So let's go ahead and draw our attention to the top side of the bracket. That's going to be the Mongols and Lin Vision. Blair, how do you feel about that matchup?
Oh, it's going to be spicy. I think Mongols have played the best Counter-Strike we've seen so far, but there's always the little caveat you have to add in that when you play the best of ones. But that being said, you know, they make very quick work of both MAG and Greyhound. So I would pin them as a favorites against the second best Chinese team. It's going to be Vision. I think that's going to be a banger of a game in all honesty. For Greyhound down there, though, they need to basically beat, you know, win 2 more best of 3s against either a top 3, top 2, or a top 1 team in Asia. So it's not quite done yet for the boys.
I think, for my opinion, Mongols are going to be much harder for Greyhound to go up against than Lin Vision. Lin Vision, of course, going to be a little bit scary, but I'm looking at Lin Vision's little run to where they are, and Tyloo did not perform this event, so you'd say that that was like an easy BO1 to get to that position. And then they also beat Twisted Minds in that first round, so Lin Vision might get slapped tomorrow by Mongols in that first game, and if that happens, their confidence might be at an all-time low. And then we also have the rematches, that second game of the day, Atox and Greyhound, which I'm keen to see because Atox showed something completely different to me.
100%. I feel like Greyhound obviously would still be the favorites over here, right, in that matchup, but I just have a feeling Atox's going to steal a map away from them. They look really, really good in the second and third map against Tyloo. So yeah, 2 spots, man. 2 spots.
2 spots. Yeah, with 4 teams left, and I feel bad, like, for all the teams. You know, I feel like a few more teams deserve this. The thing is, look, Linvision, they're pretty solid. They have had some solid performances lately, but at this tournament, I just feel like we haven't seen the upper echelon of what they're capable of. And if they don't bring their A game tomorrow, because they had today off, they're not going to be coming in warm.
Yeah.
And the Mongols, they looked so fierce. So I'm tipping the Mongols in that first game of the day, and then in the lower bracket, I still feel like the Hounds are the favorite there, but it's not going to be easy.
I agree. I mean, I also like the way the bracket's kind of shaped up there, right? It's the usual suspects. We have Greyhound, we have the Mongols, we have Linvision, of course, Tyloo, the one not to make it. We then have a toss-up. Is it going to be Tyloo or Atox? Is it going to be Linvision falling off and Atox coming in? But yeah, Tyloo, the disappointment of the tournament so far.
Well, you know what, Mac? It's certainly no surprise that the Aussie boys have well and truly made the noise. So now is your chance to give them words of inspiration, motivational speech. What do you have to say to the Greyhound boys? Coach Mac.
Do it for Mum! Just do it for Mum! Do it for bloody Australia! Please!
Yep.
Exactly what he said. Will Greyhound be able to do it, or will they falter at the very last hurdle? Only time will tell. This has been the PGL CS2 Asia RMRs. Still so much fun to come, and that's going to be tomorrow. Hang in there, Mac. You'll be all right, man. Don't worry about it.
Level up your gaming space with metal posters from Displays. Hang your displays in seconds. Swap them whenever you like. Get official art from your favorite games on a uniquely designed metal canvas and choose from thousands of posters. Join over 3 million collectors now. Your wall upgrade is here. Shop now at displate.com.
Players are changing. Countries are changing. The game has changed.
Finds it to perfection. And Simple. No! It's Olaf who's on top of the box. He's got 3 and he's looking for a 4. That is incredible. And Rain. He starts away.
The best tournament, the best booking. Odyssey.
I asked Nico to drop me off, saying, I will drop you off, but say I love you.
I got kicked by Pimp, and so he told me to keep studying and stop playing.
Then I became a support player.
He's a great in-game leader, but I think I'm better.
Yep.
I've got Snappy and Magis from Falcons, and I've got Nico and Monacy from G2, and I've got Machine.
Hi.
And we're going to talk for a period of time, and we'll see what we discuss. Now, quickly, gentlemen, are you voting for or against using the new update?
For.
For, yeah. For. Straight into it. Is it because you're trying to nerf Donk?
No. Well, I think it just makes sense that we're going into the RMR. I think it's stupid to stay like on the old stuff. Let's get into the new.
Yeah.
I think
there is.
For the showdown, for example, when we had to play CSGO, that was annoying. So I think just move on straight away.
Yeah,
I mean, of course you vote for because you buff yourself and you nerf Donk, no?
We'll see, as I said. I don't want to rush things. Might be good, but you never know with
older people,
man.
you know, we're getting older.
We're sitting still a bit. He's moving all the time. This guy, I'm just sitting in my corner. It's not good for me.
But
biggest advantage.
do we not worry about like some bugs that we don't know about just yet? Because the update only came out, what, like 10 hours ago?
We had bugs already.
He already found
it's
one.
a feature, I think.
Oh, a feature?
Did you know on Mirage, if you get smoked window?
Yeah, you can jump up. So
you can watch top mid and
I saw it.
I think Hades just put like a picture of that or something similar to that up on Twitter.
But don't they usually fix these quite fast after one?
Yeah, Valve, we just didn't have an update for a month. Do you think we're going to...
No, but this was a big one. Maybe they fix a lot of the small things now.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
What was your initial reception though, Ilya? I know you're one of the guys that will just immediately jump into an offline server, test everything running around. As soon as that patch dropped, what was your reaction? What did you think?
I just saw like the picker's advantage increase or something, yeah? And 16 MS, and I tried with my friends to like at least hold the angle and the guy is going out on you. Like I think you have now more advantage when you're holding them. The guy who's leading you. So.
Wait, you tried this last night or this morning?
Last night.
You were awake when the update came out?
Yeah, of course.
I got in Prec Room at 3:30. He was playing Premier.
No.
Yes.
Okay. So you're well slept for the media day today?
No.
How much do you sleep on average?
Like 7 hours.
That's okay.
7:30.
If that was me, I wouldn't be here today.
How many hours sleep do you need?
At least 8.
At least 8?
Minimum.
Okay.
I prefer 9 actually.
Okay.
Getting older, you know.
I prefer to play more than sleep.
But do you remember being this age? Were you probably doing?
Well, he's only 25.
I remember it,
Yeah, but you remember it. That's a while away.
but I think, to be honest, he has been grinding a lot more than I ever have been. Guess it also shows a little bit now, since he's so good, but...
So, I don't know, we were hyping you up. You were a big game player, man. You were playing big.
Used to be, but then I became a support player.
Yeah, but the impact you could have in games is like what a lot of players can't do, right? You know, you win that clutch, you get that multi-kill from that anchor position, and it changes around, and Snappy goes, fuck yeah.
I think the difference is I never wanted to be the star player. I never needed to be because I just wanted to win. And I think that has always been my focus. So even in Astralis, when I was really good at holding AO bars, we had trouble on B side, and I was just like, yeah, let me go monster, I guess. I mean, let me do something because I wanted to win, you know. And it's always been like that, but I guess the spiral has always been when there was issue, I had to take over because no one else wanted to do it, and I guess I just became a support player eventually.
Now you're back on AO bars.
Yeah, that's true.
It's come full circle.
Actually true.
Well,
circle.
We were looking while we were talking through your matchup while you guys were qualifying, and we were looking at your history. You've been in the playoffs with 4 separate organizations: North, Astralis, Vitality, and now Falcons.
Yeah.
I don't know how many players have done. Well, actually, you've been in the playoffs a lot.
No, just FaZe and G2.
Okay, so just 2 all.
With Mouse, I haven't been in playoffs.
Oh. And this guy rocks up and wins it.
Yeah. Somehow.
Somehow.
I tried for like 7 years, and he got the first year, the final, second year.
But you won it together.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And now everybody at the table has to stop Donk from doing it his first time. Is it really turned into that? Is it Spirit are the best, Donk is the best player in the world? Is that the actual conversation right now? Is it like, nah, come on. Nah?
Nah. I said they're going to finals.
Ah?
Okay.
Big expectations.
My read. Us versus them in the final.
Well, who has the easier side of the bracket?
I think it's tough to predict right now.
I know what you'd say.
But I definitely think that if you have to look at the teams in total, there is no doubt that their bracket is tougher. But I do think Spirit right now is definitely a top contender right now, with Donk going full crazy right now. But yeah, their bracket is definitely more different.
I mean, the experience is on their side of the bracket, but on our side of the bracket, you have Spirit that have looked amazing, and then you have a team from Poland that is gonna get some arena backup, right? So I think it's always when you get to the playoffs, most teams have done good, I would say.
And for a newer player stepping onto that stage as well, like, I mean...
Oh yeah, is he going to shoot his pants?
Well, yeah. That was actually where I was going with it. I was trying to find a nice tactful way. You know, it's definitely possible the guy gets consumed by the moment, right? Like,
yeah, but I don't think so. I hope so also, but I don't think so.
No. Just built different.
I just think a lot of the young players that are coming to the stage now doesn't have a problem with it.
Really?
I think it's something, if you have it, you have it, and a lot of the time, if you don't, you never get it.
Oh,
why was that so profound?
Yeah, right. Well, then he's got it.
Yes.
He's got it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think you just enjoy the stage. Like, I know it was my dream to always play on the stage and to get these emotions. And they have really also good psychologists in the team and Spirit.
The guy that yells a lot.
Can you come a little closer to the mic so they can all hear that?
They have also a good psychologist, mental coach in the team who's helping them a lot, and I think he's like really helping Donk to perform good.
Yeah.
Okay, slightly Donk adjacent. What about Shiro though? Because in some of the bigger games, he, not always there.
He has been falling through a little bit on stage, no? At least from what I remember.
Yeah. But I also think like he has been struggling a bit in CS2. He hasn't been the same. Even now he's having like I think good stats at this event, but it's still Donk's show, so I don't know. I mean he's gonna get there eventually, but I think he still needs experience. He didn't have too many big stage games, I think, in his career, so I think he will find himself really soon.
Yeah, but I also think.
I mean, at least from my experience, is that a lot of times people they need to experience good moments on stage before they actually start turning it around. And if you don't have those experiences, but you only have bad experiences, then it can kind of turn into like a mental barrier. And I think once you kind of get over that hurdle, I guess it also like releases a lot of pressure on the shoulders of people who's having those issues. So, I mean, you coming in and just going ham in your first tournaments on big stages also helps in the sense that you never really tried being in the opposite way, because you never really tried going in with 0.8 rating in big games and then like kind of falling through. Of course you tried that in games, but you also had the good moments very early in your career, and I also think that helps quite a lot. I mean, even with me, I think when I started playing on the big stages, I had people who already won majors and had a lot of experience, and I could kind of go in freely and say, okay, I have like these 4 guys, and if I play bad, they will carry me. And I got over this hurdle because they could kind of carry me over that burden.
All right.
I wonder if there was ever, did you ever have fear of failure, or did you kind of just know that that wasn't an option?
Fear of failure? No, I don't think.
No.
I think maybe when I played Katowice for the first time on the GT, I think I had like something, because like when I was playing games for the first time on big events, there was too much attention towards me. Like everywhere where I go, like in socials, people were writing about that Timonis is playing his first big event, how he's gonna perform, something like that. And maybe something that could like affect how I'm gonna play, maybe like fear of, I don't know, play bad a little bit. Something like that, I don't know. But fear of failure, no, I don't think.
But I think, as Emil say, I think having success gives you confidence. Like when you go to a quarterfinal, you get past that, then the next quarterfinal you won't feel anything. And the same for the semi and the same for the final. Because for me, I obviously had a lot of failure in my career, to be honest. But I know Dallas wasn't the biggest, but when I won that, then when we played Cologne, I know we got smacked by these guys, but it was not because I was feeling, any tension or anything, because as soon as you get over one hurdle, then the next one becomes easier, kind of.
Well, we did talk about it being a mental game, right? And this is kind of expanding on that. Now, you've had the ups and downs. When we go back to the final against FaZe in 2022, and have you seen the video that ESL put out of the Mirage game?
Yeah.
Right. That is the best way to tell a Counter-Strike story, getting the comms, getting all of that insight, and it's really enthralling for the viewer. But you watch that back, and you look at that game, what are you thinking when you watch that match back? Especially in that way.
One thing I remember from that, when we said Jax is the worst player on day.
That was funny.
But there's smack talk going either way, right? Like we all know that because on those mics, right, you're trying to G your teammates up, you're trying to build the confidence there. Of course you're going to be talking trash about the opponent.
That's true. Yeah.
But I mean, it was interesting to me to know it happens at all skill. Like it's not like it just suddenly stops when you're getting a salary. You're hyping up your teammates in the same way. You're chatting smack about your opponents in the same way, and nothing changes in that respect. What stood out to you?
But yeah, watching this video is just like, it was nice to watch, but then you remember that you lost the final, so it's like, it's not easy to get over it again. But it was a great final, even though it was 3 maps. It was very exciting game to play, to watch, and I think that's probably the most important thing. We had a lot of fun as well. I just wish we could maybe get to 4th or 5th map as well. I think it could have gone either way. So, but yeah, I think the big part played that we didn't have a coach behind us at that point.
Amanek, right?
yeah, it was Amanek who stood in for some reason. But,
For some reason. Okay.
but yeah, our coach got COVID back then, and you know, like coaches usually have a big impact on the big games. You know, when to take a timeout, when to calm us down, to make a right call at the right time. So that's what we struggled as well, and then. Yeah, it sucks, but I'm happy that we won the next one.
A few little cans that have just been opened there for me. So if I could go with the first one, obviously very exciting game. You play very exciting Counter-Strike, all your teams do, and we saw that brought in with the Falcons game just yesterday.
I was so happy to be casting you guys. It was a stark contrast, man. There's like
to the EF Navi
every T round, I'm like, what's going to happen now? Oh my god, we're doing something instantly. There's something happening all over the map.
And
fast Counter-Strike.
That's the thing. You guys play fast, exciting CS. You guys don't only play fast. Like, well, you don't either. But like, you guys all have the gear, right? And same as FaZe. And like in fighting. Like, I don't really watch a lot of UFC. I listen to podcasts about it, and they say like styles make fights, right? I think it's the same with CS. Like, I really struggle to watch VP because I respect.
I struggle to play VP.
I respect, it, right? But it's not like entertaining, and I imagine it's boring in the server. Like, I had SDY on HLTV Confirmed the other day, and he was like, it must be depressing or something along those lines to play that style. Like the worst way to play CS. But you guys play CS that gets the energy flying, and that's what I love watching. Like, I don't know what question I was going to ask from here. I kind of just wanted to say thank you. Like, thank you for playing fun CS, because it makes it really entertaining from our standpoint. And I guess
there's a question in there.
Yeah, probably somewhere.
There is something. I mean, well, I've likened VP style to like a siege. You know, like in a medieval siege where you just park up outside their house, and if you eventually
you're starving.
You have to give up. You have to give up. At some point, you've got to leave your castle, or you're starving. So something like that. But in terms of this clash of styles, it just got me thinking, like. We all acknowledge that there is logic in that style of play. You just said you hate playing against it, right? Like there's a reason you hate it.
You have to be so disciplined, kind of,
right.
The whole match, kind of, because you know they're gonna wait for you.
Yeah.
So it's about when you play VP, it's about not making too many mistakes. And when you play, for example, G2 Vitality, it's about making good, like making a lot of plays and stress them out more. But when you play VP, it's about don't fuck up too much.
Yeah, they're trying to break you mentally.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of mental as well.
Yeah, they're trying to break you mentally, I think, in the game. It's tough to wait for them every time. They're playing annoying, and.
But they have actually sped up a bit. I see, like we were surprised, like doing monster rushes and AV rushes on Inferno, Overpass monster rush, and so they have sped up a little bit, I would say.
But it didn't turn out too good, no.
No, bombed out.
Well,
is that surprising to see them?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised because I think that is kind of like what they are always good at, is like making it quite far, in the sense that they're always consistent. Yes, I don't see them as title contenders, but I always see them as a team that can beat anyone on a good day. But at the end of the day, I think their problem is that they only have one style, and if that doesn't work, they don't really have anything else to rely on. And I think that is probably why they're experimenting a little bit as well, to get that fast pace into the game. Also now that it's CS2, because let's be honest, the riflers are a bit stronger now. Maybe it's gonna be nerfed now. Yeah. Most likely it is, but it is gonna change a bit for them, because it's just their style is not good at standing still and like waiting for mistakes and stuff like that, because people are just like swinging you all the time.
There's also certain maps that invite for fast playstyle, I would say. Maps like Ancient, where like a lot of the time A or Banana has to be open if they're fighting mid or cave. So it's like some maps invite for a faster playstyle, and then some maps like Overpass or Mirage, you can play kind of slow and feel the map a bit more. So I think they have to, on certain maps, you need this fast style also.
But I don't know, like, why are they pushing that style? Because like they don't really have the players for that style anymore. Like when I played with Fleet, like in FPL and with Fame, like they are not the slow-paced players. Mir as well. Like I don't think it's their game, So I think if they could balance it out a bit more, I think they could find a better comfort zone for everyone on the team. That's just my point of view. But it seems like Jamie just pushing always, like or the coach. I don't know whose call it is, but they're always pushing for the same style. Like no matter who they bring, it's same like with Furia, like whoever they change, they're just playing the same game all the time, and it's just I think it's not working, but they won a major, so who am I to say? So yeah.
That's the confirmation bias though, right? The fact that they can turn to that and go, well, doing this, we won a major. So I guess they can return to that even if it's not working for them in current meta, that Furia one.
But I also think for VP it's a little bit tough, because they didn't have any partner spots in any leagues, so I would also say they didn't have that many chances. So I think we'll see this year if it can work consistently, because now they're gonna be in all the tournaments, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And they're playing also weird. Like, for example, the guy's dropping AWP to Jame. Jame has 2.7 and he's dropping AK back.
Yeah.
The guy's playing with Glock.
Yeah. Oh,
what's this?
The Sanji treatment has lingered on ever.
Try doing that to Emil and see what he will say.
I had 6K. I had 6K, and I was like, "Can you drop me?" He was like, "No, not really, but I can."
if I have to.
Yeah. I did it, but I also excuse after, because in general, when someone asks for something, it's very bad to kind of like get annoyed from it, because already there you start the round with the wrong mindset. Like the guy who asked for it is gonna be like, "Oh, this guy is a little bit annoyed with me asking," and then the whole round just kind of escalates. So I also excuse after and saying,
you get a bit more AKs.
You want to say what I told you?
I get my AK every round.
For the op, well, he asked me, like, I asked Nicola to drop me off, he's saying, I'll drop you up, but say I love you. Well, it was 10 seconds, I didn't say anything, but I said after.
Had to think about it.
Taking the using your manners to an extreme.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Showing your respect, I suppose. Yeah, okay. But I guess, considering Sampai's form recently, understandable maybe you didn't want to drop him an op. It was good. He played well in your match against Na'Vi, though. I think Sampai's is, if he, and I remember talking to you about Sampai's on stages as well, so if he can perform to the level we know he can, it's been a rough start for him in CS2.
But I also think it's a bit different for the AWPers, because Emil said it, like the riflers for 7-8 years have to adapt constantly to meta changes, and the AWP they didn't have to adapt to anything at all, barely. But now with the Pica's advantage, all of the AWPers had to adapt for a period, and I think now you see all the AWPers coming back, and now they're getting the Pica's, so now they're going to be fine again. But overall, I think a lot of AWPers had a little adaptation period, but I actually think both at Blast and also the last 2 games, and Pius found his level again. He was really good, so I'm not too worried. And now he's gonna get the buff again from, also this guy, sadly.
Yeah, sadly. But like the thing is, I think the AWP being such a key talking point for all these years, and that player being such a focus, and how instrumental it is in the rounds. I think, given the riflers a little bit more time would have been nice. It would have been great to not go straight back to AWP being the focus, because I remember in 1.6 you'd have different patches where it'd be like really tactical or it'd be really skill based, and like the AWP was still pretty important, but I don't remember it just being the main talking point all the time. But the game has obviously evolved a lot since then. And I don't know, I just think that this whole donk conversation has been fun. I know people might not like his yelling. But the whole idea that this kid is just coming in, and the way that he's approaching the game and just mauling people, like, okay, cool, we've got like something different to talk about than another flashy AWPer, right? Smashing.
Yeah, sick of those flashy
we keep getting plenty of you, mate. Like, they're coming out of the woodwork. It'd be nice to have a bit of a different storyline for a while. But I guess this is the thing, and this is a more status quo type question. One I wanted to ask a bit more generally to you guys. So we have a new game that's come out, even though it's similar, it's not the same. Right? There's obviously a lot of changes, the feel, and we all knew that it was going to come with updates, which we've just seen overnight. And then you had at the same time this massive shift of rosters, right? You guys have a whole new team, you guys brought in a new player and a new coach. And then you look across the board at almost all the teams, everybody in the last 6 months has pretty much made a roster change, right? Like, pretty much. So how does the scene feel at the moment? I don't want to throw this out there.
Temperature check.
But does it feel weak because everybody's still building back up?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, like, for this event, I feel like anyone in playoff can win a tournament. Like, literally, like, anyone can go out there and lift a trophy. And that's what I felt at the World Final as well. It's so, I don't want to say random, but I feel like everyone is on the same level. No one has found, like, I cannot say for one team, like, okay, they're playing amazing CS, like, they're playing very good. Vitality was playing, like, pretty good for some time, like for 2 events, but that was for me like clearly just the confidence Counter-Strike. They were just swinging everywhere and killing everyone. So I think it's a bit random, but it's also cool that it's so competitive. But I think in the upcoming like a month or 2 we'll see someone more stable and maybe creating an era or something.
Okay.
I mean, I think at least if you look back at the times, I mean, Vitalis was winning because they had good individual players who was just stepping up at the right time, and like a lot of teams was in shambles. There was like no real top 10 teams in the world that was like stable or actually not without roster changes or stuff like that. And yes, they did change one player. Well, they got a new player in. I mean, he was just like obviously just feeling it from the beginning, and they were just winning because of that. With Saibu and Spinks and these players was just playing really good. And right now I feel the same as like Nico was saying, like there's no good like top 5 teams in the world like stable. I think that anyone can win a tournament right now, and that is obviously a little bit dangerous, because obviously in the future, like 6 months, you will probably see that it's gonna like be more normal and more consistent. That's from my point of view.
I also think the fact that the only 2 teams that wasn't actually doing a lot was Vitality and FaZe when the 2 Blast event was happening, and the other teams that was good was like Spirit maybe and VP, but they weren't attending those events, so some of the actual competitors weren't playing those events, so it was kind of hard to see who were the best teams at the world at the time. And I also think MR12 with the economy now has a bit of an impact to a certain degree because you can easily get off to a very rough half. It doesn't take a lot sometimes to get let's say a 9-3 half for the enemy. If you go down 3-0 and then you lose, and you go down 5 or 6-1 and you have barely had any weapon rounds, it can spiral out of control pretty fast now. And I think that is something that maybe makes it a little bit more random right now.
I think Bill, like with what's just been said there, it doesn't feel like anybody has established dominance of the meta of CS2 or the way the game is being played at the moment. Not even CS2. Obviously with CS2 we have the whole new smoke dynamic and stuff, but we had the period where Astralis are the ones who fine-tuned and showed everybody the way that utility could be used, like picture perfect, not just throwing nades for the sake of it, like actually throwing nades with a purpose. And we have had a big period of time now where there's just been a decision tree that's been growing. Every one of you has come up with a solution to a problem with like a blocking smoke and a flash through or this or that. And it feels like we're waiting for that next development. Or do you guys not think there will be another development like that because of the way Counter-Strike is now thought about and played? It feels like it's such a high level of the, you know, this happened, so this is the response type game is how CS is at the moment.
I think there's still going to be a lot of development, especially on T side with using grenades and smokes in general. It's still not something that comes natural to players, but you don't get blocked in areas in the same way as long as you have a HE grenade. And we tried a few times, we were like, yeah, but we don't need to wait for the smoke. If we have a nade, just nade it and go for it.
You also don't know what Valve are gonna bring in the game as well. Like they're bringing some new stuff with HE, for example, in the smoke. Now the smoke is also going, like it's releasing faster, you know, like in CS:GO. They changed it in the update, and also you have like the shadow of the smoke as well, like so people cannot see shadow when the guys walking through the smoke. And I think people who is gonna walk through the smokes, they will have advantage they will have advantage to kill you as well. So like it also depends on Valve what they're gonna bring as well.
That's a good point.
But I think as long as we have the Martel at this economy, it's gonna be random. In my opinion. Because it's just there's too many like eco rounds. You win a pistol. You are like if you win both pistols, you already got half of the rounds that you need. So that's what makes it random. And for me, it's just mind blowing if you're going into the major with best of one and MR12 with this economy. I think that's gonna be the most random RMR ever in my opinion. So
yeah, I think you can get very far with winning some pistol and having 1 or 2 gimmick moves, which will get you a weapon round that maybe the opponent haven't seen, some random play that will get you a free round. And then, as Nico said, you can get to 10 or 11 rounds, and then you just need a few more.
Is that another problem with having so many new teams at the moment? Because you don't really have the same data on everybody as what you would when these rosters have been together for a longer period of time, right? You guys played Mirage yesterday for the first time. It's like, good luck playing Counter-Strike by player positions, right? They're having to learn on the fly.
We had three Mirage A players.
You kept changing
they had no clue who was playing where, I think.
But that's exactly what you were saying. Like that there in that game works, and then you play another one, maybe you get away with it again, and you play a third one, maybe you can still be a bit cheeky. But after that, people are going to have a good idea of what you're doing.
Yeah, but I mean, also you don't need as much the playbook doesn't need to be as advanced now, because you can literally get away with preparing 3 or 4 weapon rounds which I think is a bit weak, because before you had to kind of adapt to the opponent during the half. Now you barely have to adapt, because when you have to adapt it's like 7-3 or something.
It's over.
Maybe expanding the side point about adaptation is there's a bit of a conversation now about whether or not the people are interested to see if Donk can adapt to people watching the tape and understanding his moves. Is that something, Nico, Monacy, you guys have experienced over your career, where when you first showed up, all of your stuff was fresh, it was yours, no one really knew how you like to play, what your tendencies were? Did you encounter that, where suddenly people knew what to expect from you and that made making the game more difficult?
Yeah, I think I said somewhere in the interview that what advice I can give to Donk.
Yeah.
I said like, that he needs to rewatch his games, because when I was playing first my official games, then people were adapting towards me, and every pick what I was doing, like I was getting countered, and I had to play like a little bit different, but like to use my picks and advantages a little different. But I don't know, as soon as you see like how he's shooting, like he doesn't, I think, care. He's just playing simple Counter-Strike and killing people.
Yeah, just shooting him in the head.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess.
He's moving a lot. I've never seen it like I don't see him standing still ever. When I watch his POV, I think he really understood how in CS2 to use this peek as advantage, because he's never the one who gets peeked. He's peeking into people everywhere.
He's also
and he really understood that, and I'm super shit at it.
Same.
But can we stop giving him advice?
Yes, we should.
He's good enough.
I let him learn the hard way like everyone else. Like there was no reason for it. And you need to stop helping him.
Giving him all the shortcuts. Yeah. Giving him all the shortcuts.
I think like players need to stop talking about him as well, because the more we talk about him, the more
giving him power.
Yeah, it's just people, like you cannot respect him. Like if you give him space, he will use it. So just don't talk about him. And I mean, he's good. He's very good, but I think we can stop him.
Okay, all right.
You're getting me hyped.
But I also think with star players, it's like you can never kind of fully stop them. You just have to kind of hope, like you can slow them down a bit, and then it's still a team game. One player is not gonna win the full match. Like we played Vitality so many times. Of course, we knew Cyber was good, but it's not only about Cyber. You need to beat the whole team and find ways to slow the star players down. What we didn't do in the Cologne final against these two, but you know that is how you need to do it. It's not about countering one player or whatever. The star players will get their frags.
Okay.
So we're talking about team players. Did you have anyone you wanted to take this?
No,
I was interested. I wanted to ask a little bit because two of the largest names, or the ones I hear getting the most praise in the 6th seat in a team, Saw, Sonic. You know, both names you guys are familiar with, and I wanted to kind of try and develop an understanding of what it is that they provide outside of, you know, the things we're assuming they're doing, you know, in terms of homework. But when it comes to being a difference maker, when it comes to, you know, you say it's a team game, I assume that the coach is considered a member of that team.
Yeah, of course. I think the thing with good coaches, they kind of just make people feel confident, and they get people to have a nice feeling inside their body before they go into a game, and they know when to step in and when to not do it. And also, they kind of also need to be clever, because if they're not clever, you don't respect their opinion on CS. I think the best coaches have a good combo of both. And obviously this is why I loved working with both Saw and now Sonic, because they are really smart outside and inside the game, and they know how to react to different things.
Okay.
Interesting.
You've had a long time with Sonic.
Too long, man.
Your boy.
Getting tired of him.
5 majors.
Yeah.
We're only at 4.
I'm gonna have to leave him eventually because I need to win as many majors as him.
Oh, shit.
And then I can come back, you know. But no, I think for me, what makes him special, I mean, obviously I can only speak about Sonic, is that I think he's very, very good at creating a team. And when I say it's like this whole team bonding, like this whole like unit, like, because you respect him a lot because you know he is a smart coach inside of the server. But outside of the server, he is like a very good friend that you trust, and you can always like ask for help, or you always know if you need something, you can ask him in the middle of the night and he's gonna respond and be there for you. And I think he has a very good mix between being professional but also being a friend that you can trust. And obviously I've worked with a few other coaches, but I've never tried someone who is as good at creating a team that he is. I think he managed to do it in Astralis, also with Vitality, and also obviously we are on our way to do the same, but that takes time, of course. And I think that is something that has always inspired me, is that the way he can actually manage to put random people together. I mean, obviously we have known each other from other tournaments, but let's be honest, we haven't talked like a lot. And just suddenly you can create this bond and actually become like a family. And I think that is something he is a huge part of.
It also helps that he's just breathing CS. Like he's really a hard worker. Like you can count on him at any hour of the day.
What a legend.
Yeah, I mean, this guy and Danny, it's a tough combo for a guy like me. Trust me.
Too much CS?
No, I mean, I
Putting
also
into work.
Yeah.
Well, I always see you in deathmatch in the mornings.
I need it these days.
I understand why you're in there, but I still see you in there. You know, you could be slacking and not doing it at all, but you know, you put in the hours.
But I think as soon as you lose kind of the fire, then it is time to hang up. the most.
That much?
Yeah, but poorly. I just go in there so people can shoot me, mate. I just go in and go, oh, look who's playing deathmatch today. Oh, this guy's getting warmed up. You know, you see all the tech, mate. I got to do something with my time. We only cast them 1 or 2 games a day, so I got the whole morning to be doing whatever the hell I want.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, we asked about a well-established coach. You have a brand new coach. Big man, big personality. He was your security guard at the award show. How's Taz going as a coach?
He's very good, very good. Yesterday he was a big part of our wins. He had a very good motivational, like, not speech, but you know, he had a good words to spread to us when we were obviously having to win 2 games. It's not easy, so he helped us a lot yesterday. But overall, his game understanding is very good. But you obviously need time to adapt to the new meta. He hasn't been competing for a while, so it takes time. But as probably Zonic and so, like, he's also super hardworking. I have never seen a guy work harder than him. He's watching CS non-stop as well, and he's trying to sometimes do too much, in my opinion, as well. So that's super nice to see, and him and Rasmus are also getting very well together. So I'm looking forward to working with him more.
We have a good balance. I'm playing and he's watching. That's a good balance. Yeah. But he's really good. Yeah, I like him as a person as well. That's the most important, I think. If you have a person who is really, like, who's a good person, like, you make fun with him and you can speak with everything with him what you want. Like, it's just a good thing.
Now, I want to just circle back in and focus a little bit more on the tournament just quickly. So what we'll do is, you guys are going up against FaZe. So why don't you predict that matchup for us? And then I'll get your opinions.
Oh, this is great. I like that.
So FaZe versus G2, quarterfinal on the other side of the bracket. What's your expectations?
I think if we play on the old patch, FaZe wins, and if we play on the new, G2 wins.
Wow. Okay, simple as that, huh?
I mean, I'll be honest. These 2 guys need to play really well if they want to win. But I guess you're used to that pressure, so I mean, a lot is on your shoulders right now. Not to talk bad about anyone, but obviously I think Honda has had a rough start on CS2, and they are gonna need you. So I think G2 wins if you guys perform to the normal level. But other than that, obviously FaZe is a team that you can never really know what brings to the table. I mean, if all 5 individuals kicks off, they can be the best team in the world, and on the other hand, they can also be a team that goes out in group stage. So yeah, I mean, you guys might all 5 also peak at the same time, and then it's going to be a really good quarterfinals. I hope for that. So I think G2 wins because you are pretty consistent, you two.
And you're sitting in front of him right now. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Now, look, obviously, stage matches between FaZe and G2 always bangers. I have reports that Carrigan was in here earlier. A similar question was asked. He seemed to think it was going to go 3 maps and they were going to win. First one overtime or something on those lines. So what's the prediction from the G2 camp about the matchup against FaZe?
I think it's going to be super, super nice game. Taz versus Neo as well. That's also going to be exciting for them. I think the crowd as well. I'm not sure who they're going to support more, so we'll find out. But in terms of the game, I think, as they said, I think it's a bit a random matchup. But I think if we show up individually, or if they show up as well, it can go both ways, in my opinion. But we're feeling confident, and I think if he plays like he did throughout the whole tournament, if I help him a bit, I can see us taking it.
Modest, are you going to put FaZe in your pocket?
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm coming without expectations usually to the game, but I think it's a good opportunity to destroy them for the last Katowice that we played on the stage.
I love the word you chose there. Destroy. Not beat. Destroy.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay. I think something fun about the Neo Taz story that doesn't get spoken about a lot is in the early days, they weren't friendly.
Yeah.
And then they joined, and then they had the legacy together, right? It's something that I think a lot of people overlook because they don't know the very old history. And they used to be enemies, then they were teammates, and well, now enemies again, at least while on the stage.
There's a lot of the Golden Five in Katowice this year, right?
Yeah, Pasha should be here, I imagine.
Yeah, he's going to show up, Cubans.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's now go the other way around. They're going to be playing against Ents, Snappy against his old organization with Diha still there. You've got Glaive going against Magisk and Zonic. So what's the prediction in that matchup from the two of you? What do you think is going to happen?
Falcons 2-0, they have Zonic.
Whoa. Okay.
Damn.
I said that they're going to go to the final mainly because of the experience. I think both Ents and Spirit they're both very new to the kind of like these stages, and now they have Magisk as well, and he has been always very good in these games. So I just see them like getting easier over the edge than for Ents. I think Ents, as soon as they face Crumble, or like if they don't have a good start, I think it's going to be very hard for them to come back into the game. And Spirits, well, I'm going a bit too far now, but yeah, I think Falcon's taking it versus Ents.
Damn. Okay, gentlemen,
I hope so.
What's your thoughts on the matchup? Or are we going to stay humble?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's good to be humble, but I'll be honest, I do believe we have a good chance to beat them. I think we have the experience on our hand, and you know, we tried being in the arena multiple times, at least myself. You've been there once, and actually the other guys haven't been at Spodek, but they've played on Cologne and big stages before. So yeah, I mean, I believe we will go out and win, but I always go with that mindset that I can beat anyone. So that is my mindset.
But I think a lot of it also comes down to what Nico said. I think they have the whole arena with them, and if they get the good starts, it's going to be a tough match. But I think if we can crack them a bit and get some momentum, I think we'll take it.
Is it going to be a 2-1 because of Vertigo, or you think you just put them away 2-0?
We both have the same permaplan.
Aha. Okay. Aha. All right. The plot thickens.
I mean, I'm a god on Inferno, so I'm playing Inferno.
Someone's happy to take the risk.
The bit is a bit different, though.
It's fine. I know every utility. It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. That was lots of fun. And good luck in your matches, and we'll, see who comes out the victor. Thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hi guys, welcome to the Players Podcast. I'm YNK here with Maniac and Glaive and Diha from Ents, Shue and Zershan from Mouse before their playoffs here in Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. So to kick it off, I guess, guys, expectations fulfilled, right? Like everything going as planned?
Almost. I mean, it was some good days, and then a bit of a turnaround yesterday, I would say.
What happened yesterday?
Yeah, what happened?
I think we lost a team. I'm not sure what team it was, but some team we lost to. And I'm trying to forget it already, but yeah.
We made sure that you would not forget.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Anything you would want to say, anything you have on your heart, on your chest right now after this game?
Yeah, you better watch out.
Yeah, I mean, see you next time, guys. Next time you're done.
Final.
Yeah, next time we're going the whole way. We're going 2-1. Not only 2-0.
So you take one map the next time?
Yeah, one map for sure.
Step by step.
One map for sure.
You played some really good teams this whole tournament, right? You opened in the group stages with Vitality, take them down, G2, 2-0 them, right? So what made it different against Mouse? What makes Mouse so good that you guys struggled with them?
It's hard to say, to be honest. I feel like, of course, they played really good, but I felt like we also played not the same way as we used to. I think we were a bit like mentally drained, I would say, after all these days, because we put in so much work the last few days for all these kind of teams, and I felt like that we didn't play like the other days. But I also felt like that Mouse was like punishing every mistake and doing really good individual plays and playing good as a team as well. So I think that was what made it harder.
Yeah, it's always a specific match, this whole like semi-final or quarter-final. You guys had already done something quite historic, making it to Spodek. Did you feel that people didn't really have that extra 10% in the game, that extra hunger while you were playing, or did it just feel like a normal game?
I mean, we tried to like talk a bit about it before the game. Like, we know that we achieved more than we came for already. Like, Spodek was like a dream for us, and just going into the main event, we already not exceeded expectations, but probably for some because of the bracket we had with Big Heroic and Astralis. So we were pretty happy just going into the arena, and I think with all the happiness, there's also like kind of a fall down afterwards. Yeah. It's something like when you win a tournament after, you can go a bit down, right? And I think maybe that's what happened to us, and now we pick ourselves up, and now we need to realize that we're not here to play in quarterfinals, we're here to like try to go the whole way, right?
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, for both teams, we're going to touch on it. Of course, making Spodek is something quite incredible. The Polish angle is very obvious, but for you as a player that people might have discarded at the time, that people have thought, you know what, this is it. Oh, wait a minute, he's back? And now he's back in this Polish roster? What the hell is going on? At what point did you start realizing that things were clicking and that you would possibly find this kind of success? And now you're sitting here with the playoffs opening the door in Spodek.
I think I realized it at the Astralis game.
Okay, yeah?
So it was pretty late. I mean, the practice was good, but not as good as we have been playing here, I would say. So I was kind of surprised that we are able to play like we have been doing and beating all these Tier 1 teams. And yeah, for me it feels really good. And I know for the other guys as well, it feels amazing. And kind of like redeeming myself a bit because it wasn't the best kind of years in Astralis in the latest. So yeah, it feels really amazing.
I think for you guys, I wanted to ask about, obviously, Frozen goes to FaZe, you get Brolan, you guys are playing great, straight into the semi-final. But from that sort of, Frozen, he wasn't much older than you, but he was more experienced, he was on the Tier 1 scene more. How do you sort of make up for that, not in-game, but more in that leadership aspect and losing like a veteran player? Is it just everyone else stepping up a little bit? Does someone else take that sort of a role now in your team?
I think it's a little bit of everyone. Now everyone knows that they have a lot more responsibility to take care, especially after David left. With Ludwig coming in, Brolan, he's done a really good job of adapting and fitting into the role and also being a mentor for us as well. He has been on the team for a very long time, so the qualities that he shows to us also, it's motivating us and we are learning from it. So I think the responsibilities were split and we knew we had to step up a lot more than what we had previously, and I think that's exactly what we did.
Talk to me a little bit about just Brolan as a player, because personally I also felt like he was insane for a good while. Then he goes where all players go to die, to NIP. And I always wanted to believe that he's way better than what he was showing. So I'm glad he got this opportunity. So tell me a little bit how he's like as a player and how he's been doing in MOUZ so far.
So with Brolan, lately he's just been in the shadows basically. Kind of people would forget about him or how good he was especially. Now that he's back with people that are his age group, I think this is a huge game changer for him. That he's finally able to have fun again, smile, enjoy the game basically. And that's what we wanted to have whenever we brought him in. Just make sure that he's coming in and he's having that enjoyment again. Being the same, having the same motivation as he had before. And I think we did a really good job on that. And now it's just a matter of moving forward with him.
I think previously in his teams he had a whole lot of frustrations at times, so like roles, that was a huge topic. Did it just fit in what you guys wanted from him and what he wanted to do, or did you, because I know for example you have a tendency to adapt a lot when players come in to make it work because you can. Did you need to do that a lot, or did it just sort of clicked and I worked with what he wanted to do as well?
Yeah, I think to touch on also the last question, I think Lude, like Brolan, is an amazing player. I mean, everyone knows that he was top 20 twice and stuff, but I mean, he's really incredible, to be honest. I was not sure where he would be when he came to Abu Dhabi to stand in, but I mean, he played incredible and he was there all the time. He's mentally very prepared, which is very surprising for me, especially because he came from a low spot. So yeah, I mean, I think he's a great player, and adapting wise, like he fit like a glove to the team, I feel like. I think also everyone was willing to make sacrifices for him, including myself, of course, if I needed to change anything. And yeah, I mean, we just worked out, especially between captain and coach, what makes the most sense between roles. So, for example, on HCC decided now I play mid because I'm aggressive, so it kind of fits the roles that I can switch. So yeah, I mean, we just tried the best to make him comfortable, but I think that he's incredibly talented and also incredibly versatile.
I think we see that element of, some players who were struggling, moving into a different environment, having a little bit more fun and playing much better. So I wanted to ask you, Diha, as well. In the old Ents lineup, you guys were really good. You were top 2 basically, a lot of finals, only one trophy, but there was a lot of stress, it feels like, a lot of pressure in that environment, and it looks a little bit like on the player camps, like you're enjoying the game a little bit more and having a little bit more fun. Is that correct to say, or how?
Yeah, I mean, for sure there is less pressure right now, I would say, because we don't really have top players, I would say. Like, nothing against my teammates, but you cannot compare them yet to the old roster. So I feel like right now we are just having fun, and it's easier for me to open. We can talk in Polish, we can discuss in Polish,
right?
Yes.
Some of the stuff, of course. But yeah, it's just easier. When we need to speak Polish in the game, I feel like we are clicking instantly, so yeah, it's just easier.
You're obviously a figure of experience in that team, you as well. What did you think of this core of 9 prior to playing with them? Because they obviously looked like they had something to offer, and they were blocking a little bit at times. We talked map pools and whatever, but I want to focus more on the experience. What did you think of the roster, and were you surprised when they joined and you became teammates?
Yeah, I was a little bit afraid at the start, I will not lie, but it was super hard for me to explain to them what I will do in the team, because I changed not only outside of the game but also inside the game, and they are looking at me at someone who is sometimes explaining the game for them. They are also I don't know how to even say it.
Say it in Polish, it's fine.
Oh, no.
They will translate.
Yeah. But they are respecting me a lot.
So you're a mentor for them?
Yeah.
Do you feel like a mentor for them?
Not really, but I'm trying my best to help them.
They have
And
been
of
looking
course,
up to you for some years.
And of course, in these big matches, after this big game, I said some words, maybe not the best one, but I was always, I said it to them, I'm always trying to help them. I'm not saying anything bad to sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's rough, but I'm always trying to help them. I'm not the best in speaking, speaking-wise to the team, but I'm always trying to help them.
So what Paul is trying to do, after the big game, he's really straightforward.
Okay.
He's not he's not. Of course, he has some thoughts and he wants to get them out of his head, and he's saying that to the team, and he's talking with performance coach, and then he's getting to say it to the team. And I think that's really important, because it's important that the players is able to speak loudly in the room with their teammates and say what is on their mind, so they don't build off all of these kind of frustrations, right? And this is what Paul did after the big game.
all right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See one more time.
Yeah.
But I think that's very important in a team to function properly. You can't hold stuff in and push it under the rug, so to speak. And you guys have known each other for such a long time from the academy days. Does that make it so much easier to do that sort of a thing and just be able to communicate in the open?
Definitely. I think we have a group of people and the chemistry in the team. I think it's very rare that we have basically 5 individuals that are able to just speak up, speak their mind, and no one will actually get offended about it. We know that we're all there just to learn and improve, and any feedback from any player or staff member that there is, we're always taking it in and just trying to improve from it.
Yeah, there's no egos. Everyone is on the same level in the team. Obviously, always Shuhe, Kamil, and the coach Dennis almost have the high regard, obviously, since they're the coach and the captain. But at the end of the day, everyone tries to be pretty balanced, and we make sure to listen to each other. And yes, as Gleb said, to share your mind and not keep anything in.
Right.
So yeah, I think we have a very healthy environment.
Yeah, you definitely have a balance, I would say, within the profiles of your team in terms of experience as well. There's a good side to it. A negative side could be you're looking out and you say, hey, who's the figure that's going to teach them, if I can use that word carefully, who's going to bring them? So how do you, as a team, as a group of people who are again in the same balance, how do you elevate as a team? Where do you go look for that new experience and new ideas and new protocols, whatever it is? It must come from within, right? You don't have someone that can tell you, hey guys, listen, this is how we win. This is how I used to do it. You have to kind of come up with it together.
Yeah, I think it's obviously we have balance, but I think that we also have very vocal players. I think especially me and Kamil, especially obviously in the server as well, giving direction to players or saying what to do sometimes, but also outside the server, if it's about teaching some grenades or working hard, I think everyone on the team is understanding that they have to improve in a way and they have to find their own stuff. But sometimes you need to give direction, as you say, it's very important. And I think as much as there is balance, for example, I think I'm very vocal in the team. In a way, I'm a player like Dicha that he just likes to get what I have off my mind. I don't like to keep it in, and maybe I could be very strict.
Confirms.
I could be direct, but I learned over years also how to use my words. I think that's very important. But yeah, I think it's very important to have a direction to improve.
Yeah, also because since we don't have basically a mentor in the team, someone that is experienced, that is able to bring in this characteristics of a mentor, like we have to work on ourselves and kind of create an environment for ourselves and like in a way, I don't know maybe if that's the right word, but like create a meta for ourselves that we are able to deal with it without someone having to come in and actually show from their experience. So we are going through all of this together basically.
I think you guys also have been playing really well for a while now, had good results too, but it's about taking that last step. Now you're in the semis, so to win that semi-final game and actually make the grand final of a big event like IEM Katowice. So what do you think is sort of missing, or what is it that you need to get that last 5% maybe from to be able to make that step?
I think stability, like consistency in a way, stability. I think the more deep runs you make, the more chances you have to win trophies, of course. We want to go to playoffs every event we go to. I think that's our first goal as a team, and I mean with experience against the best teams, the most experienced players, I feel like that's when we will take the step forward actually. I think it's nothing necessarily about like in-game stuff, it's more, I mean we need experience, we're a young team. I think we handle pressure really well as a team anyway, but I mean obviously it's very different when you have people who played like 10 times more playoffs than you, very close series than you, so yeah, I think mainly it's outside the server, like stability and consistency, I would say.
I like that you're talking about this, sometimes the last 5% and people have more experience, because the game that we witnessed in Abu Dhabi, I think is quite telling, right? It's a super close game versus FaZe. And then if you really look under the microscope, the last rounds, yeah, there's a little bit of nerves, right? There's a spray that goes this way, a peak that goes this way. Do you feel as a team that, obviously it's a disheartening loss, it's a hard loss, but do you feel as a team that you're more prepared each time you're going to be put in that situation? You feel like you learn from these moments, as heartbreaking as they can be?
Yeah, for us it's the more the better. Like Sergeant said, basically each opportunity we get to play at a stage like this, we need to just use the experience from it and move on to the next one and even do better. And basically the more the better.
I mean, we have someone at the table who's got some experience with stage.
Well, here's the thing. I wanted to ask Glaive, of course, everyone knows all your achievements and stuff, but actually, it's been a little while since you played, you know, in that arena and in front of that crowd. So are you feeling a little bit nervous too?
Not yet, I would say, but I could be when we go to the stage, of course. I mean, I think it's not that bad to just feel like a bit of nervousness. I think it's pretty normal. Hopefully you're not like really just like shaking when you're going in and can't hit shots and stuff like this. But I mean, the first few rounds it can be a little bit nervousness. Of course, there will be a lot of fans. For us, a lot of Polish fans. So I think we're all going to be a little bit nervous, but I think mainly it's like 2 rounds maybe, and then you get over it, I would say. So it will calm you down slowly.
I also have to ask you, are you going to channel maybe your inner Apex for the playoffs? Because I mean, it started with Astralis, right? And now it's going to be Falcons in the quarterfinals, so more X's lining up for you?
Maybe, I will see. I'm not gonna promise anything. I mean, I had some pretty good games, and yesterday was not that good, so I'm just gonna focus on the team and try to focus on myself, and we'll see what it brings. I can't promise anything. Sorry.
How's it gonna feel for you in this game? You obviously have a history with most of the players that are going to be against you. How does that feel to imagine that matchup coming up?
I mean, first of all, every single matchup we played was almost personal for me. So it was either ex-teammate or someone else who is coach now, for example. He was also my teammate. I mean, Taz. And there was also like Big. I played them in Sprout for like 2 years or something. So I knew all of these guys. And right now it's Falcons. I was joking a bit on Twitter that they are snakes. No, I mean, I love all of them, but Katowice is special for me because it's like the only event in Poland, and it's also amazing event, I would say. There is a lot of people and they are cheering for everyone, not only for like the Polish team or the team that they will choose, but they are cheering for everyone, and it will be super special for me to play here.
Kamal, how about you? It's your first time in Katowice already, the playoffs.
Well, I mean, actually, it's my second time. You know, last year I was here, but not as a player. I was just casually watching, you know,
analyzing.
Yeah, basically getting ready for Spottic this time. But it feels amazing. Just like Deha said, basically being in your home country, being able to play in such a legendary event, basically having like one of the oldest trophies in front of you. So it definitely means a lot, and like he said, every game is basically very emotional, very personal as well. You just want to do as good as you can.
Nice. We touched on the idea of like mentor and experience on the stage, and I wanted to ask you, from my perspective, you're in an interesting and almost ambiguous position within your team, because you are obviously a profile with a tremendous amount of experience, but you're on your way back up. You had the rough times, as you mentioned. You don't really know the guys that well quite yet. So how do you kind of position yourself mentally when you think about it? Like, do you already see yourself as, hey, listen guys, I'm the captain, or it's a give and take? Like, how would you describe your position within ENCE already now?
I think I will split it between me and Kupin, I would say. Okay. I'm not gonna say like I'm the boss, listen to me only, but I think I will split it between me and him. But of course I want to be there for the guys. I will give some pep talk and try to tell them some stuff, and just make them as relaxed as possible before going to stage and before playing. And I think Kuben will do some of the same, and we also have our performance coach with us, which will help with this as well. So I think we'll be fine.
And what about the human side of it? The reason I ask is, in my own experience, I have been sometimes in teams where everybody else was speaking a different language. Like, it can be complicated at times. So how do you experience that? The integration beyond just the server, like, is it challenging? Is it easier than you expected?
I mean, outside the server, I think it's pretty easy, I would say, because we have Kup and he's saying English all the time when people are starting to speak Polish, right? And but inside the server, I think can be a little more difficult, because I have like a hard time giving up control. So even when I'm dead and they start to speak Polish, I'm still speaking English to them, and I think it can be a bit confusing. So sometimes I feel like with this team, I need to give a bit of my control and let it loose, and just let the players decide the decisions themselves instead of me trying to tell them what to do.
How does that feel?
It doesn't feel good. No, it doesn't feel good, because sometimes I feel like I have the better understanding, but I also see that in practice sometimes, that even though I think something but I don't say it, it still works out really good for them when they're talking Polish. So for me, it's just about letting loose and let them do their job.
Do you think that has maybe helped a little bit your individual level, that you just leave some of that responsibility to the players, you can focus more on your own game a little bit?
I think I have been having a hard time doing it yet, so but maybe it will happen in the future. It's something that me and Kuben talked about a bit, that I can be better at, like, because we have so strong individual players when they are hitting shots, and we need to let them play a bit, and not only me trying to say what they need to do, right? And maybe it will help me individually to just give up the control and think about next round maybe, instead of thinking about the current.
I wanted to ask a little bit about, CS2 has been out now, 3, 4, 5 months. How are you feeling about MR12 now that you have plenty of games on it? Do you think it's too short, or do you think it's fine, it's just enough rounds?
Actually, I mentioned to you the other day, I mean, we talked about there are scenarios where like it's last round, but I don't even realize it, it's just went so fast, and I'm like, oh, we won? Wait, I need to make sure. Like, even it happened against them, like it was last round, and I'm like, I was screaming, and I'm about to put my headset on. I'm like, I need to check if everyone else is putting their headset on, because that's the last round. So it does catch me off guard still. Probably still not used to it because it's been a short time, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I think it's cool, to be honest. I think it's refreshing not to play such long games sometimes. I think for me the biggest change was practice. I feel like you can get much more quality practice now, since you have 15 minutes break between every practice you play. You can talk about stuff, or you can just relax. And I think in CSGO you would just play 3 practice one after another, and that's why a lot of teams were also late. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a very healthy change for practice, and I feel like also for casual viewers who want to watch the game, like sometimes people don't have 3 hours to commit to a BO3, where now it can take 2 hours, for example. And yeah, I mean, I think that's just much better for the general approach to the game, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the change that we could implement is probably removing the 1400 loss bonus. I think this would help a lot, because I think it's like too small of a bonus. Or maybe change the economy system a little bit, so we don't have like too many like full eco rounds, but or maybe not these rounds where you have 14 runs and you can't even like buy to 0 because then you're not gonna have a good first full buy round, right? So I like that this when you get the bomb plan on T side and you have a fair chance of winning the second round. Even sometimes you have a bigger chance. But I think removing the 1400 loss bonus could be really, really good.
Has it in any way influenced the way you sort of approach creating game plans, or how do you approach the game knowing there's probably less gun rounds to work with, so you could have things a little bit more set, not necessarily tactics out of spawn, but you use a smoke combination in the first gun round and you can use it in the third one as well to do a fake, and you can maybe create a whole half around like 2 things and just masking them differently.
I think a lot of teams are doing that now. I think a lot of teams are writing down like 2 or 3 gun rounds like with guns, and just doing those. And maybe if the in-game leader feels like, okay, this is the time for something else, then we'll do something else, right? We have a lot of tactics. Every team has that, and but I think like pointing out some key tactics could be pretty important, or at least talking about how you want to approach the game.
I mean, less rounds mean obviously more intensity in the rounds, and from the outside, something that we really appreciate now is that a clutch can change a game, like literally change a game at some critical moment in the half. From the inside, from within, does it feel like that, or did you just get used to it now and it's the new normal? It's like the way you handle either winning an incredible clutch or losing a stupid ass 5v2 for ourselves. It will feel like it's more intense from the outside. I just wonder from within if for you guys it's now normal, or if there's a little bit of that.
I think it's a lot harder to maybe reset after losing a clutch because it just means a lot more,
right.
Like you said. Yeah, that's for the clutch. But actually going back to the question before, I mean, in terms of like game plan and calling, because there's less rounds now, from an IGL perspective, like back in CSGO, you would use rounds to set up into the future rounds, and now it's a lot more difficult to do. Like you need to squeeze in a lot more into one round to set up a round in the future, and it does take a lot off you, and maybe it strengthens your ideas in the game. You're limited a little bit more as to what you can call or how you can set up a round to make them look even more perfect. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Okay. So there's more mind game. Like when you go into a game against another leader, do you feel like you have a higher level of mind game going into it, trying to trick him? That's more present now than it was before?
Yeah, definitely. Because like I said, you just need to, now to set up a round, I think you need to squeeze in a lot more into the round. You need to take out a lot more from the round. So like these small things as utility or damage or the money that you save, things like this just matter a lot more. And those are the rounds that just cause you to... Those are the rounds that basically have the most impact later on to the game.
I was wondering about, even in this tournament, we've had a couple of teams, even from the play-in, not make it out, that potentially people saw as playoff teams, the likes of Astralis, Virtus Pro as well, one of the big names. Then in groups, Vitality gets knocked out, Navi in their final game. What do you think the reason for some of those things is? Some people were saying online that a lot of these teams are getting exposed, right? That they weren't that. Do you think like that's the case, or maybe something else? What are your thoughts?
I don't think so. It's at all about getting exposed. I think still like Vitality is still the best team in the world, in my opinion at least. I think they're extremely solid. They have great 5 players. Like you don't have a weakness there, I feel like. So I think it's, the most important thing is definitely CS2. It's a new game. Came back from player break. People cooked some stuff in player break. People had a lot of time to practice before coming into Katowice, and I think it's not about teams getting exposed. I think we will still see the top stay the same kind of, but obviously there is a lot of change happening. CS2 now today we just pushed a update that changed completely how you play the game, basically in terms of individual. So I think we will see some map changes and stuff, and I think it's all about who adapts the best. I don't think it's about who is better or worse, but I think that people like to overreact sometimes. Also with the Zawu thing, for example, like people are saying like Zawu is washed or something after Sydney, and I'm still like, this guy is still the best player in the world. Like, what is people talking about, And
one tournament.
Yeah, exactly. So I think people like to overreact a bit about this stuff. I think it's not the end of the world, even though it's Katowice. Everyone wants to play there. I think Vitality can just be like, okay, this happens, start of the season, and they need to move on, and I think they will do that. So.
do you think a part of it is maybe some of these teams are still playing more CSGO than CS2, right? In terms of style, that they haven't like adapted or innovated enough?
Definitely. I think also some I mean, not specifically for some people, but I'm sure that some teams, some players have a more rough time accepting CS2, especially like older players that have a lot more experience in CSGO. I mean, yeah, obviously, like people who write tweets about it, I mean, I understand the reason, but I think that also as professionals, you need to move forward, you need to focus on CS2, you need to, as I said, you need to adapt. I mean, everyone plays the same game. I understand the game is not perfect, but I mean, at the same time, you also have to trust that it will work at the end, and I'm sure it will. So I think it's all about mindset, to be honest, how you approach it.
I'll pick up on that as well, because Lucas, you used to win a few years back, right? You had moments where you were defining how Counter-Strike was supposed to be played. You had a team that people were looking up to and trying to figure out, okay, what is it that they're doing? How can we do it better? Is it then harder to realize that there are ways that used to make you win that don't anymore? And you have to like give up some of the certainties that you had, some of the principles that you had, and you're thinking, what the hell? Like, we used to win like that. So first of all, is it that different now? And has it been hard to give up on some of the tools that you thought were like unbeatable at the time?
I mean, I think some of it has been hard, like realizing that you have to change kind of play style. It took some time, but I think it's also like really good for me to have a coach like Pupen that sees the games in a different way and is helping with that, and also me trying to work in a different way myself to understand the game better. So I feel like it's pretty good, to be honest. Okay. It's nice with the change, and I like that the meta is changing so much all the time, and that you need to kind of do hard work to get there.
What would you say is the biggest difference in your leadership now, if you were to look back at 2018, 2019, Levin, who you are and who you have to behave now? What do you say the big difference is?
The biggest difference is that I'm working much harder now. I'm working much more, I would say. I mean, back then I just played practice, and of course I thought about some ideas and I brought them to the practice and to the theory. We had like 1 hour theory, and now we always have like 2-3 hours of theory, like something crazy, right? And back then just thinking about some things, showing them, but now I'm really like trying to understand the game, looking at all the teams, looking at a lot of YouTube videos, all this kind of stuff, to be in the meta all the time.
Yeah, okay. And then you have across the table a new leader from the new generation, right? Yes. Is there also a learning process for you to look at these younger teams, younger leaders, and like things they do that you didn't, or like as an inspiration in some way?
Of course, they are young. They probably use even more hours than me, I would say. So of course I have to kind of look at them and see what they're doing right, and try to copy some of it, or even just to understand it and maybe how to counter it at least. So I'm trying to do that my best, but you know, there's a lot of top teams and it's hard to look at everyone, but right. I mean, after this game yesterday, I'll start to look at House more, for sure.
Don't worry, we still also look at the older ones as well.
Yeah.
Ah, look at this.
How has it been for you, Diha, with the switch to CS2? You've been enjoying it or just hoping for better days?
I mean, the start was rough, but I have this rule that you need to be open-minded in CS2, because it wasn't great from the start, I would say. I was really used to CSGO, like it was different game, but right now you need to switch your mental, to be honest. Like, you need to be open-minded for everything. You cannot like tilt about the game. You need to give it the time. If you will tilt about the game, if you will be hard on yourself, then it will get into your mind and then it's over. So I would say CSGO was a little bit better, but I'm still giving time to CS2. And right now I enjoy it because I played much more than I was playing from the start, but it's fine, I would say.
I think as we're moving into the playoffs now, arena games, right, we talk about how it's a different environment to play in, obviously, and some in-game leaders that we talk to, you know, say it impacts their calling too, right? There's more momentum-based calls, perhaps. Do you share this opinion as well, or do you stick to, you know, I don't take into account the crowd or anything, I just call what I think it's best, what's going on the server?
Well, I haven't had a lot of those events where I got to play in front of the crowd, but those that I could play, I mean, for me it was a matter of balancing it, using that momentum from the crowd and also the atmosphere. It's the adrenaline, definitely. It plays a huge role in individuals in such a stage. But it's about like balancing that and also the plan A that you had, that you practice as a team, that you what is good for your team, why you are there in that stage. So you need to kind of play the two scenarios correctly and just join them up together.
How far do you think your best playstyle, whatever fits MOUZ the best, how far do you think it is from the best main stage playstyle? Do you think you can use whatever you have already on the stage, or you make some of these tweaks because you say you have to still stay true to yourself? Do you still feel like a certain degree of adjustments you make when you go up on the stage in these experiences?
There's always adjustments being made, no matter what game, no matter how much practice we had. We're always adjusting, like I said, that's why we are very open-minded and we are able to adapt real quick as well. It's also a very good characteristic of us. But going onto a stage like that, there's a fine line. It's a gray area where you need to make sure your teammates are still comfortable on the server, so you don't want to change too much up. But at the same time, you know you're gonna come up on a stage and you need to change something to adapt to the other team. You know the other team maybe has more experience or something, they will maybe run you down, play a lot more aggressive or whatever. So you need to find that fine line that doesn't cross both boundaries, and then you're good.
I don't think we need to ask Glaive anything about this. We just need to remember the Atlanta Major Grand Final and calling a Tech 9 outside rush.
but it's a funny thing, because with these less rounds you have now, it's also more risky for going for these calls as the in-game player, right? You don't want to call these A rushes and B rushes too much like you did in CSGO and try to like catch the opponents off guard, because if it doesn't happen, you will look kind of stupid, and the coach will say after, maybe we shouldn't play like this, right? Because we don't have a lot of round 2.
Yeah, but if it works, he'll say, great call.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing reads.
Yes.
I mean, if I can touch on also this as a player, I think that obviously as IGL, so you guys have like some changes you guys do, obviously momentum based, but I think it also applies to players. Like I would say that experienced players tend to play more aggressive on stages. I think it's because they know they can abuse that other people maybe are a little more nervous. I think that I got a little bit gifted that I don't really care in a way. Like, of course you feel nerves, of course, as Glaive said as well, like always you feel some butterflies the first couple of rounds, but I think I'm pretty good at just being like, okay, I just have to play my game again. And I think actually stage for me makes me more aggressive, like makes me feel the crowd more, makes me feel the moment. I know even though the other team is experienced, if I show them that as a young kid, like I'm not scared, then maybe it will make them question some stuff, you know. So I think you can use that in many ways, like the momentum and also the mind games, also as players. So I mean, I think everyone, like all the players in this table, know that in these moments you can definitely, as a player, also change some stuff. You know, it doesn't have to be as an IGL necessarily with a call. So I think you can always surprise the opponent in such games, especially.
Is that something you discuss with your leader then? Like some of these moves you're gonna do is just on the moment, and you give yourself that freedom.
I think it's both. I think.
What's happening here, like?
So I think so Kamil thankfully has a lot of trust in me, which is really nice to know. Like I feel very comfortable and confident going into games when I know this guy will just, okay, Dor, you can do it, you know, and like I have a respect for him that when he says no, there's a really good reason why. So yeah, I think we have a really good balance between us. Some stuff, sometimes before in prep, I'll be like, okay, I can really abuse this. I'm just gonna go for it, you know, and he will give me the green light. Or sometimes in the game, I'll be like, Kamil, you know, like just let me loose, you know, let me go, let me run, you know. And then I get a 3K, he's happy, I'm happy, and we continue playing as a team after, of course. So I think it's all about balance. I think that something that took me time to understand. I think when I was younger, especially when I joined main team with Dexter, I really want to play aggressive all the time. So I think it was a good change I had to go through with him and Cyclone, that okay, you also need to play some good rounds sometimes, maybe some balance. And I think that we have a really good balance between us now. Sometimes I'm crazy, sometimes he's crazy, and I just go like, maybe the team is not sure what he's doing. I'm like, guys, it's the captain, let's follow him, you know, let's go. And yeah, I think that we just have to find a balance for that.
I think it's also about like the players understanding that they need to change some stuff themselves. The in-game leaders and the coach cannot sit there and watch every player, oh, you did this a lot of times, you need to change this, but the player needs to realize themselves, okay, we're doing this a lot on either the CT side or T side. They will know, so we need to change some stuff for the next game. And these small tweaks is also what makes it much harder for the opponent.
Nice. Yeah, I think now talking about what you guys have in front of you, right? The game against Falcons. Just talk us a little bit through, like, how are you feeling about the matchup?
I mean, I think they are pretty set, I would say, because they have the same core and the same Indian leader as they had before. They brought in 2 new players, and of course it takes some time, and a new coach as well. But I feel like they are a pretty set team, and they have a pretty good playbook, I would say. So they have a lot to fall back on, and but I think that we have like the more young players, and I think we're able to maybe surprise them a bit with some of the plays that we can do. And we also have some really good shooters, like that are shooting hard. So I think that the matchup is pretty good, but I think it's also going to be like a spicy match, I would say, because of Pavel and me and the old lineup and
the crowd.
And the crowd, yeah. So, but I think what is the most important is that we're going to enjoy it, because it could actually be the last time playing in Spodek for some of us, right? So we never know. So we have to kind of enjoy it and just do our best, and let's see what it gives us.
We always love a little bit of drama in Counter-Strike, right? So we will obviously the angle.
We'll tap into that.
We tap into the drama, but for you, is there anything we can harp on the Glaive v Snappy? Is there something to be done here? Any spies, or we're just making shit up at this point?
I mean, I think me and Snappy